His voice rumbled out, echoing for miles, covering the entire Li Shen mountain, covering 100 leagues of the magma lake. The mountain roared. The lake roared. The river at the foot of the mountain surged, and the faces of the 3 Long-Ear clan members by the river turned ashen at the same time. The clan leader's words were meant for the entire clan, and also for them to hear. This is the final verdict. All of Li Shen Mountain, millions of clan members, simultaneously raised their right hands, by the order of the clan leader. The ground shook and the mountain swayed. The clan leader looked down and glanced at Lin Zaiasu. This glance was very gentle. Then he stepped into the magma lake. All the elders turned their gaze towards the lady. The lady's face was a mixture of emotions. Finally, she took a step and walked towards where Lin Zaiasu was. Lin Zaiasu bowed slightly. The lady looked at him quietly for a long while. Young Master Su has been in our Li Shen Mountain for a month now, and I have not yet personally entertained you. I have been quite rude. I ask for your forgiveness. I wouldn't dare. Young Master Su, please stay here with peace of mind. Let Feiyang and Zui accompany you. Thank you, madam. The lady smiled lightly. Farewell. Safe travels, madam. The lady left, the elders left. Qing Wan was quiet again. Li Zui was full of shyness, her heart bursting with joy. Today she was more daring than ever, initially thinking there would be a huge rebellion against her mother. But who would have thought, with a swift move, not only did he deal with the young clan chief of the Long-Ear clan, but with just a few words, the tide turned. Not to mention her father's arrangement, for her marriage had come to a halt. Even her mother changed her attitude. Please stay here with peace of mind. Let Feiyang and Zui accompany you. Look at these words. Isn't this clearly approval? Oh my God, happiness came so suddenly. Li Zui felt her face flush and her heart race, her whole body filled with bubbles of joy. Husband, you spoke so well just now, truly, Li Zui told him. Lin Zaiasu said. Miss, I know you called me husband just now only to mess with Dingcheng's mentality, making it difficult for him to display his true combat power. Now that there are no outsiders, it's not appropriate to address me like that. Li Zui's face turned crimson, suddenly overwhelmed with shyness. When she called him husband, there were 2 reasons. Firstly, it was her rebellious nature acting up. The more you suppress her, the more she retaliates. The harder you press, the higher she rebounds. You accuse me of having an affair with him. I call him my love. You bring a crowd to embarrass me. I call him husband to piss you off. Secondly, it indeed was strategic. Dingcheng, being a member of the Long-Ear clan, had natural advantages in the magma lake, so she used a call of husband to disrupt his mindset, making it difficult for him to perform fully, indirectly supporting Lin Zaiasu. In the beginning, addressing him as such was actually nothing unusual for her. But even she didn't know why, at this moment, she uttered it so smoothly, and didn't find it awkward at all. Now with Lin Zaiasu saying this, her face flushed and heart raced. Shyness again took the high ground in her mind. Jaior was not having it, stepping forward, hands on hips. Young Master Su, you're being too much. My lady called you husband in front of so many people to save your life, discarding the reputation of a young lady, and now you want her to take it back. Can she take it back? Can she still marry someone else? This. Lin Zaiasu was a bit confounded. An outside voice was heard. Did I come at a bad time? It was Li Feiyang. He was carrying a giant vat. Lin Zaiasu looked up. Oh wow, on the outside of the vat was a giant character. Wine. Brother Feiyang. Lin Zaiasu hurriedly went to greet him. Internally he sighed. Many people in this world often say, did I come at a bad time? And most of the time when they say that, they indeed came at a bad time. But definitely not him. Him coming over today was not just timely, it was extremely timely. To rescue the situation. Li Feiyang laughed heartily. Whether it's the right time or not, I have to come, because today is so fitting for a saying among the common folk, don't stop drinking until you're drunk. With that, he took a step, walking alongside Lin Zaiasu towards the red pavilion ahead. Once seated, the big vat was set down with a thud. Like performing a magic trick, he reached out his hand. 2 large bowls appeared in his hand. These bowls, made of jade stone, each could hold more than a pound. Lin Zaiasu smiled. Brother Feiyang, do you really wish to get drunk? If there's grand passion that can be quenched by wine, this is the time to drink 300 cups. Li Feiyang replied with 2 lines of poetry that he himself composed. How about having a bowl first, then listening to a tune? Li Feiyang laughed heartily. Brother, have you composed a new tune? You could say so, Lin Ziasu said. Haha, drinking strong wine, listening to a new tune, that is what I enjoy, Li Feiyang said. Whatever kind of melody this tune is, I shall name it Floating Clouds Disperse. Floating Clouds Disperse. Li Zui had already stepped onto the red pavilion. Her heart skipped a beat, as if she understood her brother's meaning. When the floating clouds disperse, the spirit is boundless, with 3 bowls of wine and songs to accompany the melody. That is the boldness between men, perhaps also the exhilaration brought to her brother after the change in the clan's direction. Her brother had been quite displeased with the Long-Ear clan's servile pride from the start. He was also quite unhappy with his sister's situation. But the major direction of the clan had been set, and he was powerless to change it. Now their father emerged from seclusion and established the fundamental direction with a single word. He confirmed the major direction of cutting down any intruders, making this carefree and bold third brother elated. Lin Ziasu raised the wine bowl, his gaze slowly lifted. Floating clouds disperse. Brother Feiyang, do you really believe the clouds have scattered? I understand your meaning, to cut off external aid and stand alone against powerful enemies. The clouds have indeed turned into a dense overcast, Li Feiyang said. But please believe, no matter what others think, I, Li Feiyang, am absolutely willing to execute the grand strategy as said by our father, to let my hot blood fly like rain, rather than to kneel for a petty survival. Brother Feiyang's boldness I greatly admire. However, I would rather see us directly reach out and tear apart the gloom over our heads. Tear apart the gloom over our heads. Li Feiyang stopped his bowl at the edge of his mouth. What do you mean, brother? Lin Ziasu said. The Li clan wishes to ally with the Long-Ear clan for nothing more than their deceitful sound technique to resist the Mad Spider team. Is that right? Of course. The deceitful sound technique is not something only they can perform, Lin Ziasu said. I can do it too. What? Li Feiyang's hand trembled violently. Half a bowl of his beloved wine spilled. Li Zui and Jiao suddenly raised their heads, exchanging glances, unable to believe their ears. Lin Ziasu said, the piece I wish for Brother Feiyang to appreciate is precisely the deceitful sound technique. As the sound dropped, he flipped his hand. The half bowl of wine in his palm was finished in a gulp, not a drop left. He placed the bowl down, and a jade flute was in hand. The flute was at his lips. The music had no sound, simply because this music was not true music, but subsonic. Subsonic technique. When Lin Ziasu first heard of it, he was at Wuxiang Temple. Miao Yin Heavenly King once used subsonic waves to kill enemies, allowing him to first experience this wondrous sound technique. The Jiangcheng demon sound claimed lives, and he sought advice from Miao Yin Heavenly King to solve the case. Miao Yin generously imparted her knowledge. She had her explanations. The subsonic technique. I simulate it based on genes, but genes have limitations, and the genetic limitation is the upper limit of the subsonic technique, constrained by the genetic limitations of Miao Yin Heavenly King herself. She had a dream, hoping that Lin Ziasu could simulate subsonic waves with true qi, expanding this field's upper limit. Calling it a dream because it is too difficult and unbelievable in the end. With Lin Ziasu's human Tao Orchid Heart's exceptional insight, he comprehended all the principles of subsonic but could not truly break through after several months. However, entering the underworld and personally experiencing the unbridled slash of subsonic waves as they swept through his sea of consciousness awakened the missing mystery within him. The grand concept of simulating subsonic with true qi broke through that last kick. The flute had been blown. Soundless. If it were music, all 3 would be disappointed. However, he had already said, this is the deceitful sound technique. The 3's gaze simultaneously turned in one direction, which was the lake ahead. The lake that was originally calm suddenly felt like 1,000 needles piercing at once. The 3's mouths opened at the same time. A light buzz sounded, and the 1,000 needles in the lake burst simultaneously, as if a torrential rain had fallen. Li Feiyang kept his eyes locked on the lake's surface, his forehead hair motionless in the wind, and his eyes were frighteningly bright. The needles grew in number, and the tearing sensation intensified. In the red pavilion, not a crow or sparrow made a sound. All 3 hearts were in their throats. No one noticed that the magma lake, separated by just one lake from this small lake, suddenly also calmed from its raging waves. A pair of eyes abruptly opened. It was evidently clan leader Li Kainkyu. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. Lin Zaiasu collected his hand, and the tearing sensation over the lake gradually faded. Li Feiyang leaped up. Brother, this is indeed the Long-Ear clan's deceitful sound technique. How did you master it? Jayor also sprang up, but Li Zui extended a hand to hold her. The young girl's face flushed red, her mouth opened. She probably had the same question but didn't ask it out loud. Lin Zaiasu said, the deceitful sound technique, we call it subsonic, and it's not something that only special bloodlines can exercise. With the heavenly Tao skill, mastering its basic principles, it can also be simulated. Heavenly Tao skill simulation, leading to different paths in the cultivation path converging at the same goal. Li Feiyang's eyes shone like autumn water. Exactly so. Li Feiyang said, Brother, may I make an uninvited request? Speak. Can you gather your clansmen over there and form a battle squad? Lin Zaiasu slowly shook his head. That is basically impossible. Li Feiyang's eyes gradually lost their luster. I actually know, forming such a battle squad is as hard as ascending to the heavens, but people, I suppose we all have this inertia. When we see the fate of our clan shifting, we always develop hopes that we shouldn't have. Hope can still be hoped for, Lin Zaiasu laughed. There's no need for an entire battle team. It is not necessarily impossible to annihilate the Mad Spider team. Just you and a flute, Li Feiyang furrowed his brow. Yes. No, this isn't possible, Li Feiyang said. The Mad Spider team numbers over 100, scattered across the thousands of miles of the Huang clan's desolate ridge underground. Even with the most optimism, it is absolutely impossible for you alone to provoke all the Mad Spiders. No, you're mistaken, Lin Zaiasu said. The Mad Spiders have two characteristics that determine they will only be at the one-line gorge, not spread throughout the thousands of miles of the desolate ridge. Chapter 424, Chapter 424, Conquest in 3 Steps. Li Feiyang lifted his gaze. 2 major habits. Yes, Lin Zaiasu replied. Its first major habit is its love for water and dampness. Beneath the one-line gorge in the desolate ridge, a place where underground streams converge. Li Feiyang's eyes glimmered. This is recorded in the exotic physical records and bridge realm mountains and rivers. Exotic physical records documents the characteristics of various creatures, including the Mad Spider. Bridge realm mountains and rivers records the topography of the lands inhabited by various clans. Both books were part of his collection, which Lin Zaiasu had read. The comprehensive knowledge within allowed the formation of the Mad Spider's habitat outline. Indeed, Lin Zaiasu said, the second trait of the Mad Spider is its frenzy. Once it goes berserk, it can't distinguish between friend and foe. Such a murderous weapon shouldn't be too close to clan members. In the desolate ridge, almost every mountain is a key area for the clan, except for the one-line gorge which has no structures. Clearly, it's the ideal dwelling for the Mad Spider. Li Feiyang was shocked. You even know the structures of the arid clan's peaks. Where did you learn this from? From the pile of data Brother Feiyang sent me. Among them is a book titled Map of Various Clans. Li Feiyang took a step and reached the bookshelf. He pulled it open and found a book. It was primarily an atlas, with meticulously drawn bird's-eye views that clearly depicted the arid clan's peaks. Indeed, as Lin said, each peak had numerous buildings, except for one-line gorge which had none. Even he, the owner of this book, hadn't noticed this. Lin Zaiasu, after just a glance, did notice it. What an astonishing perception. Is it merely perception? Jayor placed her hand on the lady's jade-like arm, using the Li clan's unique vibration technique to form a sentence. Miss, he's genuinely considerate towards you. Though he hasn't called you wife, he truly regards you as one. Otherwise, why would he be so attentive? With these words, Li Zui's heart blossomed with joy. Warm words can infinitely sweeten one's heart. However, silent care and genuine attentiveness better reflect his affection. The maid was truly eloquent. Her skill should be put to good use, perhaps to finally bridge the gap between them, to break through that thin layer of paper. Brother, I see hope. Li Feiyang took a deep breath. I'll discuss it with father. No need to discuss, a voice chimed in. With that voice, a towering figure akin to an ancient demon god took a step across the magma lake, the next step over a small lake, appearing in the red pavilion. It was none other than the clan leader, Li Kainkyu. Father, Li Feiyang rose from his seat. Greetings, father. Li Zui stood up. Clan leader, Lin Zaiyasu also stood. Li Kaienqiu's eyes shone brightly. I heard everything, worthy son-in-law. Your plan for a surprise attack on One Line Gorge. You as the bait, me as the blade. A single strike to vanquish the mad spider. This method is feasible. Worthy son-in-law. Lin Zaiyasu felt a bit sour. It seems the husband title brought by Li Zui's voice left an ever-increasing impact. The whole clan leader was even misled. And now he called me worthy son-in-law. Is this like having your name nailed to it? For your daughter, honestly speaking, I've hugged her once and it did feel quite wonderful, but the fact remains between us and the Earth clan, we're ultimately foes. Currently being accepted by the Li clan is based on a misconception that everyone thinks I'm a Li Tian clan member. If I lose my mind for a moment due to lust and play some trick underground, exposing my human clan identity, it's literally courting death. However, matters have their priorities. Lin Zaiyasu said, if the clan leader believes this plan is feasible, then we can draft a comprehensive strategy for the full-scale eradication of the arid clan. Li Kaienqiu furrowed his brows deeply. Full-scale eradication. Yes. This, even the indomitable Li Kaienqiu was at a loss for words. Brother, Li Feiyang spoke up, at this stage, we can only aim to slay as many mad spiders as possible. A full-scale war against the arid clan isn't achievable overnight. Indeed, husp. Li Zui almost slipped in another husband and switched mid-sentence. The arid clan and our Li clan are evenly matched. For a full-scale war, careful preparation is essential. We can't be too casual. Lin Zaiyasu responded, war is about strategy. With proper tactics, the weaker can defeat the strong. Besides, the two clans are already evenly matched. Li Feiyang's eyes lit up again. Brother, please elaborate on these tactics. Lin Zaiyasu explained, I devised a set of tactics. First, strike unexpectedly. Second, hit and counter. Third, dominate the weak with strength. Li Kaienqiu sat down. Worthy son-in-law, explain in detail. Lin Zaiyasu, adhering to the principle of staying on track, didn't correct the appellation and began laying out the tactics. After the explanation, the four in the pavilion had sparkling eyes. Half a period later, Li Kaienqiu stood slowly. Feiyang, what do you think? Li Feiyang replied, Father, I have just one word, go. Good, prepare immediately, set off in 3 periods. Li Kaienqiu stepped away into the void. Li Feiyang exited the pavilion. The whole Li clan was completely stirred. The father and brother both left. In the pavilion, only Lin Zaiyasu, Li Zui, and Jiaor remained. Jiaor was on the verge of speaking, ready to carry out the lady's special directive. However, Lin Zaiyasu picked up the flute. Picking up the flute signified one thing, sharpening the spear at the last moment. Li Zui promptly pulled Jiaor, temporarily halting the plan. Lin Zaiyasu followed the already partially cleared subsonic Great Dao, perfecting the subsonic technique. 1 period, 2 periods, 2.5 periods. He was just a novice in subsonic technique. Even with exceptional understanding of the human Tao orchid heart, he couldn't surpass the Long Ear clan's bloodline abilities in 2.5 periods. However, there was a difference between him and the Long Ear clan members. Long Ear clan members wielded sound technique. Miao Yin Heavenly King wielded sound Dao, both based on genetic inheritance. Whereas he based it on true Qi. True Qi excels at concentration, true Qi follows his will. Thus, though his subsonic technique might still be rough, and perhaps not as destructive as Miao Yin Heavenly King or the Long Ear clans, the subsonic technique performed with true Qi had stronger penetration, stronger cohesion, and covered a wider range. If used for killing, his subsonic destructive power was indeed limited. However, the true purpose of the subsonic technique this time wasn't to kill, but to stimulate. Stimulate what? The mad spider. The mad spider is a very peculiar creature. It resembles an underground tank with extremely precise construction. Its body is invincible, impervious to swords and spears, highly sensitive, able to locate targets with a single tendril. What does this signify? It indicates that inside it, there is an extremely precise locator. The most fragile part of a precisely constructed instrument is its most precise part. The mad spider is no different. Its locator is most vulnerable to invisible interference, especially subsonic. Subsonic interference causes the locator to go haywire. If it were a highly intelligent creature, it wouldn't be a big deal. It could just lie underground without surfacing, remaining largely unaffected. However, it is a mad spider. Its nature is inherently wild. When it encounters anything that interferes with its feeding, its first reaction is to break through the ground and eliminate the source of interference. This kind of biological habit gives enemies an opportunity to exploit. When facing a mad spider, the long-eared clan's mature method is to provoke it into a frenzy, lure it to the surface, and then have experts encircle and attack it. This tactic has repeatedly proven effective, hence they are recognized as the bane of mad spiders. The first step of Lin Ziyasu's plan is also this. However, it's even wilder than the long-eared clan's method. 3 hours passed. With a tremendous rumble, the volcano at the summit of Lishen Mountain erupted. Amidst the endless lava, a gigantic bird soared into the sky. This bird is named Xianing. Xianing, with a dragon's body and an eagle's head, scales like feathered armor, inhabits volcanic lava, feeds on fire beasts when hungry, and drinks exotic beast blood when thirsty, ferocious yet awe-inspiring. Its appearance is incredibly striking. As it passed through the void, a small lake outside Qingwan evaporated a layer out of thin air. Amidst the swirling mist, 2 figures emerged on Xianing's back. They were none other than clan leader Li Kainkyu and Li Feiyang. "My husband, go!" Li Zui pulled Lin Ziyasu, and the 2 of them soared into the sky. In an instant, they stepped onto Xianing's back. The moment he stepped onto its back, Lin Ziyasu felt as if he had stepped onto the top of a melting furnace. But with his true qi circulating throughout his body, his expression remained unchanged. Li Kainkyu nodded slightly, his eyes full of admiration. This Xianing beneath his feet was the king of Xianing. Even among the heavenly pride of the Li clan, few could stand on its back without changing their expression. This son-in-law can. Truly impressive. No wonder his own daughter, who sets her sights high and gives no heed to valiant heroes of the world, was so deeply taken with him in such a short time. He is worthy. Deserves her. Xianing tilted in the sky, flying down from Lishen Mountain, swooping straight towards Qingjiang below. The river water steamed into ascending vapor. The river surface immediately shrouded in dense fog. The next moment, Xianing flapped its wings, sweeping over the high peaks ahead, and the black wood forest on the peaks burst into towering flames with a roar. It was like a beacon of fire reaching the heavens, illuminating the Li clan's special expedition. Sweeping over hundreds of miles of Li clan territory, it lit up 9 mountain peaks. Just ahead was one line gorge. Lin Ziyasu raised his hand, jade flute in hand. Xianing's form descended, flying low over the ground. In complete silence, the bizarre and unparalleled subsonic technique covered this gorge. With a boom, the earth shattered. 3 mad spiders burst forth from the ground, their gigantic claws striking towards Xianing. On Xianing's back, clan leader Li Kainkyu stomped down with his foot. As he stomped, he was of normal size, but mid-stomp, it suddenly became like a sky-piercing pillar. His entire body transformed out of thin air to a height of Tenjiang. The Tenjiang demon god stomped down, boom. A mad spider was turned into a mist of blood. The underground tank, impervious to swords and spears, couldn't withstand the might of his stomp. The next instant, Li Kainkyu raised both hands, unleashed 2 punches, and the other 2 mad spiders exploded into mist. Lin Ziyasu's heart raced wildly. He had finally truly witnessed the might of the Earth Core's strange race. This power of the 4th realm truly matched the Kun Kang Enlightenment realm. The Kun Kang Enlightenment realm is characterized by its Dharma body, easily spanning hundreds or even thousands of zhang. With a single palm strike, it can destroy mountains and cities. However, the underground 4th realm can only expand to 10 zhang. But that's not how the account is settled. The Kun Kang Enlightenment realm involves true qi overflowing, true qi forming shapes, which is illusory. While the underground 4th realm, the physical body expands directly, which is real. Though in size it is smaller by 10 or 100 times, the terrifying combat power is even stronger than the Enlightenment realm by a margin. How can the physical body actually expand? Where does the energy source come from? This, Lin Ziyasu couldn't figure out no matter how much he thought. He doesn't need to understand, just needs to play the flute. Just keep blowing the subsonic technique, while Xianing, controlled by Li Feiyang, flies low over the ground, ensuring the widest coverage. The mad spiders burst from the ground, one after another. Chapter 425, Chapter 425. Step 2. Knock for reinforcement. Each mad spider emerging from the earth encounters the first ray of sunlight, which is also the last in their lives, because Li Kaienqiu's combat strength is overwhelmingly powerful. The mad spiders are large, but his physique is larger. The mad spiders are tough, yet his fists and kicks are tougher. One punch for one spider, one kick for another. In the blink of an eye, they traversed 100 miles, leaving the valleys along the way piled high with shattered mad spider flesh, while the river below ran completely red. Li Zui's sparkling eyes switched back and forth between the forests below, her father above, and the face of her lover beside her. She was so excited and happy she almost jumped up. The Huang clan's mad spiders, totaling 100. After a bout of direct and fierce assault, they had killed at least 60. Just give them another 2 hours, and this entire valley's mad spiders will be wiped out. Once annihilated, the Huang clan's overwhelming advantage against the Li clan will vanish. Above the Li clan's heads, a blue sky will appear. This is a battle of clan destiny. This man she had her eyes on also brought the Li clan a turning point of fate. Suddenly, a loud boom shook the valley as if it split in two. A gigantic mad spider emerged from the ground. This mad spider, 3 times the size of a normal one, was entirely crimson. Its emergence caused mountains to tremble and the earth to crack. "Great, you're the one I'm here to kill," Li Kaienqiu shouted loudly, stepping forward. Thump! A colossal fist, like a hillock, smashed directly towards the Mad Spider King. The Li family siblings were all thrilled. Because even mad spiders have colonies, the Mad Spider King is the mother of all mad spiders. Killing spiders without killing the king means the mother can still spawn more, rendering efforts futile. Yet killing the Mad Spider King cuts off reproduction, leaving the colony to diminish without replenishment. However, the Mad Spider Kings might left them astounded. Li Kaienqiu's punch could break mountains. Upon impact, the Mad Spider King merely staggered back 10 feet, flipped over, and swung its 6 sharp claws like heavenly blades, crazily attacking. Momentarily, the 2 giants rolled and clashed across 10 miles of sky, flattening mountains, splitting valleys, resembled an apocalyptic scene. The subsonic sound continued relentlessly. Underground mad spiders still emerged one after another. One mad spider emerged to attack the King Xianing below. The King Xianing's claws landed, forcibly breaking open the mad spider's durable shell, killing 2 in succession. Another mad spider leapt high, descending from above. Li Feiyang laughed loudly, magnificent. His right hand surged. His fist expanded to 4 feet in radius, boomed, causing him and the mad spider to simultaneously retreat. Behind Lin Ziasu, another mad spider lunged fiercely. A fierce wind snapped a black tree on the cliff beside them. Now Lin Ziasu faced a dilemma. His hand still held a flute, focused entirely on casting the subsonic technique, oblivious to everything else. Li Zui inwardly cursed. Bastard lost elegance and grace this time. With a nimble move, she transformed into a ball of fire. Boom! Passing through, the attacking mad spider had a giant hole in its body. Lin Ziasu, busy blowing his flute, nearly strayed off in his tune. My heavens! She used her body as a weapon. She simply rammed through. The invincible armor of the mad spider pierced by her flesh. Is she still the Li Zui who was once forced to roll on the ground by a mad spider? Is she still the elegant lady who gently smiled while sitting in Qingwan? This is 100 times fiercer than a savage. Another batch of mad spiders burst from the ground in front, reaching the valley's end where the most mad spiders gathered. Over 20 appeared at once, crowding the entire gorge. A shout echoed from the sky, accompanied by a scarlet beam of light. Lin Ziasu looked up, witnessing the most spectacular sight of his life. Li Kaienqiu's right hand transformed into a golden giant blade. One slash. Mad Spider King split in 2. The next moment, this super blade 10 feet long swept across the field, cleaving more than 20 mad spiders, confused by strong interference in their positions, in one stroke. A rumble shook the mountains. Another Mad Spider King emerged. This Mad Spider King might be the father of the Mad Spiders, slightly smaller than the previous one, but even more dazzling red. As soon as the Mad Spider King appeared atop the peak, the whole mountain inexplicably seemed taller. Li Kaienqiu soared into the sky. His right hand's heavenly blade trembled, as if further extended by several feet. One blade cut. This cut split the Mad Spider King in half. The whole mountain split in half, truly showcasing the unparalleled might of a fourth realm master capable of shattering mountains and earth. Mountains crumbled, earth split. Dense fog rolled. Dust billowed. Blood like tides. Suddenly, from within the dense fog, a shout was heard, courting death. With those words, the airborne dust suddenly transformed into a formidable storm, sweeping towards Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu's flute shattered with a snap, and he was sent flying 10 feet back. In a flash, two figures swept in from left and right, their left hand grasping him, their right gripping his shoulder. They were none other than the Li family siblings. Huang Zhengdao. Li Feiyang shouted loudly. Huang Zhengdao, the current clan leader of the Huang clan, a master of the fourth realm. He has arrived. As Lin Zaiasu felt a jolt in his heart, a breathtaking figure appeared in the sandstorm ahead, standing over 10 jang tall, with disheveled hair like willow branches, his upper body bare and bronze-colored, each muscle like a continuous mountain range. This is a person of the Huang clan. Born in the great wilderness, raised in the great wilderness, with a strong body, physically invincible. In Huang Zhengdao's eyes, beast-like green light suddenly erupted, and a claw descended from the sky, grabbing at Lin Zaiasu and the Li family's brother and sister trio. This claw was like a mountain hanging upside down. However, just as this mountain was about to overturn, a golden mountain appeared in front of Lin Zaiasu and his companions. Li Kainkyu. Li Kainkyu punched out with his right fist. Boom! A fierce wind arose, blowing Lin Zaiasu and the others back 100 jang involuntarily. The mountain peaks on both sides exploded with a thunderous roar. The fierce wind reversed, and the sandstorm reversed in the valley. 30 jang apart stood two great masters of the fourth realm. Between them lay a deep trench. A direct hard hit, tearing the ground apart, collapsing the mountain peaks. This is the power of the fourth realm. Li Kainkyu, Huang Zhengdao shouted, "How dare you ambush?" "Haha," Li Kainkyu laughed wildly. "Without an ambush, how could I destroy your mad spider team in one fell swoop?" Huang Zhengdao glanced around, seeing the ground littered with mad spider corpses, including 2 spider kings. His anger instantly transformed into a blazing fury. "You destroyed my mad spider team today. You will leave your life here." As his voice fell, more than 50 Huang clan figures suddenly appeared behind him. All of these over 50 people stood over 3 meters tall. Purely in terms of height, Huang clan people are indeed taller than Li clan people. These over 50 people all exuded an overwhelming aura, like ancient fierce beasts. They were the top-tier elder team of the Huang clan. "Most of the top-tier elders have arrived," Li Kainkyu said coldly. "Haha, Li Kainkyu, you destroyed my team. I only need your life. Now tell me who wins and who loses." Huang Zhengdao laughed loudly, his voice shaking the surroundings. "The struggle between the two clans is a battle for top-level power. If they can kill Li Kainkyu, the Li clan will lose their strongest combat power. Even without the Mad Spider team, the Huang clan can still maintain the upper hand against the Li clan. This is the Huang clan's strategy to take out the leader." However, Li Kainkyu also laughed, his laughter more flaunting. "Ha ha ha ha. Huang Zhengdao, do you know, annihilating your Mad Spider team is just the first step. The second step is to hit reinforcements." As his voice fell, with a roar behind the mountains, countless red dots suddenly appeared. The mountain wind rose, the red dots enlarged, all were King Xianing. On the back of each King Xianing was an elder. In total, there were more than 400. Li Zhengdao's face changed sharply. "The Elder Council is out in full force. Li Kainkyu, you madman. Call for reinforcements immediately," the great elder under Li Zhengdao shouted loudly. Whoosh! More than 10 black birds soared into the sky, flying towards the 13 peaks of the Huang clan over 100 li away. They realized something was wrong. Huang Zhengdao brought 51 top-tier elders. If used to hunt only Li Kainkyu, they held an overwhelming advantage, and Li Kainkyu could never escape. However, Li Kainkyu set up a counterkill strategy, bringing all his over 400 elders. The total number of elders in each clan is usually only 3 to 400. The Li clan is a large clan, having just over 500 elders in total. Bringing over 400 means a complete mobilization. For an average conflict, how could it cause a full mobilization of the Elder Council? This old fox wants a decisive battle. Who fears whom in a decisive battle? This place is only 100 li from the various peaks of the Huang clan, and it only takes a quarter of an hour for the Huang clan's elders to arrive, balancing the two forces again. Li Kainkyu raised his hand high. Quick battle, end the battle in a quarter of an hour. Attack. As his voice fell, his right hand transformed into the heavenly transformation blade, slashing towards Huang Zhengdao. The foremost elder dove from the air, attacking Huang Zhengdao as well. This person was the great elder of the Li clan, the first master of the Li clan aside from Li Kainkyu. The two top-tier masters joined forces to attack Huang Zhengdao. The other elders rushed down with the momentum of a long sky, encircling from all directions in an instant, creating a situation of 3 against 1, or 4 against 1, even 10 against 1. The Huang clan elders were completely divided, and the battle situation instantly tilted. An elder shouted, "Hold on for a quarter of an hour, hold on at all costs." Boom! A large knife came from behind accompanied by a cold voice, "You'll hold on to nothing." The elder was split in two. The fact proved that in a situation of 5 against 1, or even 10 against 1, very few could hold on for a quarter of an hour. On the back of the king Xianing, Lin Zaiasu took a deep breath, finally regaining his composure, shaken by Li Zhengdao's roar. The fourth realm is truly terrifying, just one roar. The sound waves carried an invincible might, able to shake even his heavenly Tao primordial spirit, showing that in the face of absolute power, there really is no secret technique. Beside him, Li Feiyang laughed heartily. "I thought ambushing the Mad Spider team was already the end of the battle. Who could have expected? Hitting reinforcements is the true essence. Brother, how did you judge that Huang Zhengdao would surely bring the top-tier elders and arrive first?" The Mad Spider team was facing a disaster, and detecting the fighting power of the fourth realm, Huang Zhengdao would naturally come, and under unknown and extremely urgent circumstances, he couldn't possibly gather all his forces, Lin Zaiasu said. Li Zuyi's eyes sparkled. "They have already sent out a rescue signal. Originally we could intercept it, but father didn't. Is he planning to use this tactic again?" Lin Zaiasu laughed heartily. "Miss has understood. This set of tactics actually has a continuation. Use the quarter hour to kill this group of top-tier elders, and when the Huang clan's reinforcements arrive, they will still face an asymmetrical situation of combat power. Hitting reinforcements will happen again." Chapter 426. Chapter 426. The sword is very beautiful. Suddenly, the valley ahead shook violently. A giant python burst out of the ground. 3 elders of the Li clan rushed forward, wielding swords and spears. The python's massive body trembled, sending the 3 elders flying. The python lowered its head, a silver horn atop its head emitting beams of silver light. Invisible rays like sword blades pursued the 3 elders. 2 elders dodged swiftly, while the silver light cut through the mountains behind them like knives. 1 elder was too slow to evade and was cut in half by the silver light. "The mount of Huang Zhengdao, the single-horned wild python," Li Feiyang shouted. "It wants to assist Huang Zhengdao," Li Zui yelled. "King Xianing, go." The king Xianing beneath them suddenly charged forward, with Lin Zaiasu and the others leaping off its back simultaneously. With a thunderous crash, the 2 behemoths collided. King Xianing's sharp claws descended, creating a bloody gash on the python's back. But the python twisted its massive body around King Xianing, a roll flattening a hillside. The masters battled desperately, as did their mounts. One king from the Li clan, another from the Huang clan, neither yielding to the other. Amid the chaos, an elder of the Huang clan targeted Li Feiyang directly, as Li Feiyang let out a loud cry and joined the fray. Another Huang clan elder sprang from the hill, leaping into the sky, claws spread like a famished tiger, aiming straight for Lin Zaiasu. "Here they come again, my elegance, my refinement." Li Zui sighed helplessly, her body shaking as she transformed into a ball of fire to confront the threat. However, just as she left, a sharp claw cleaved through clouds and mist, targeting Lin Zaiasu directly. Li Zui noticed through the corner of her eye, her heart suddenly jolting. The size of this claw was wrong. It was 4 feet in diameter. This was a half-step fourth realm. "Darling, be careful," she cried out. Lin Zaiasu raised his hand, grasping a long sword. Boom! An execution of severing emotion heavily struck the giant palm. In this strike, he was lifted off the ground, retreating 10 yards away. Half-step fourth realm, translated into the cultivation path. It's still not a half-step enlightenment realm, but should be at the level of heavenly peeping great perfection, meaning this person's cultivation and combat power is roughly on par with Kun Kang Fengjai. Fengjai sweeps across those beneath the Kun Kang enlightenment realm, acknowledged as the foremost beneath the enlightenment realm. Such combat prowess, Lin Zaiyasu finally encountered it. Just one strike and he was sent flying. The elder let out a roar like a wailing ape, claws arriving again spanning 10 yards, reaching in an instant. Lin Zaiyasu raised his hand, the long sword executing severing a motion once more. Boom! This time he flew even farther, bleeding from the tiger's mouth, falling into the deep pool below. Darling, Li Zui could no longer hold back, flames erupting from her entire body, transforming into a lotus blossom, the lotus suddenly shaking, causing the elder entangled with her to explode entirely. She stomped underfoot, crushing a massive rock on the mountaintop into powder, her figure like an arrow leaving the string, transforming entirely into a blooming crimson lotus, shooting towards the deep pool below. In the deep pool, the water splashed up by Lin Zaiyasu soared skyward. Above, a figure plunged down. His claws were twice the size of a millstone. Half-step fourth realm cultivation power. Descending strike stance. A fight to the death. All this seemed to affirm Lin Zaiyasu faced the most perilous wave of attacks since he set out. However, Lin Zaiyasu suddenly smiled. He gently raised his hand, the water from the deep pool ascending with the sword. Above, faint light illuminated. Under its misty glow, this realm suddenly became like misty Jiangnan. Misty rain surged, centering around his hand. A gust of wind blew, and the elder plunging down suddenly became like a leaf in the wind. The fierce and unrivaled attack transformed into a breeze, brushing his face, the ferocity turning into intense fear. Poof! Blood arrows shot from his entire body simultaneously. His body disintegrated, flesh scattering. Lin Zaiyasu spun around, taking a step out of the deep pool with an effortless and elegant gesture. A flash of fire in the sky, Li Zui descended, landing before him. Her face showed intense worry, suddenly replaced by disbelief. She gazed at the half-corpse floating and sinking in the pool, her chest gently rising and falling. Darling you. The battle continues, let's go. Lin Zaiyasu smiled at her, soaring into the sky. The fight above was nearing its end, but the closer to the end, the more perilous it became. Experts faced true life-and-death struggles, and the revealed trump cards were beyond measure. Li Zui fought madly. Li Feiyang fought madly too. Occasionally the two siblings collided, Li Feiyang startling upon seeing Li Zui. Quick, you go take care of him. No need to worry, his sword is beautiful. Li Zui's voice resonated amid the chaotic battle, reaching Li Feiyang's ears, causing him to suspect his sister was losing her mind. What did she mean by the sword was beautiful? If you don't take care of him, his corpse will surely not be beautiful. He couldn't understand his sister, because he hadn't witnessed the severing emotion stroke of Lin Zaiyasu. That stroke, severing emotion, was breathtakingly beautiful. Just one glance, and it's impossible to forget the sword Dao charm engraved into one's mind and soul. Li Zui had seen it once. She knew Lin Zaiasu's sword Dao doesn't require the concern of others. Even against half-step fourth realm individuals, he could kill with a single sword strike. Who in the field could deliver a fatal blow to him? Unless it's Huang Zhengdao. However, the battle on Huang Zhengdao's side was the most intense of all. The three most terrifying warriors almost tore the valley apart. Huang Zhengdao was being beaten back by Li Kaienqiu and the great elder of the Li clan, who had the same cultivation as him. But he was someone who survived the great wilderness, and his battle instincts were stronger than anyone else's. He was fighting like a madman, the kind who could drag down the heavenly king himself in a fight to the death. Even though he was covered in countless wounds, his combat power only grew stronger. With a roar, he took a heavy blow from Li Kaienqiu, but suddenly grabbed the great elder. With a split of his hands, he tore the great elder in half. After a long battle, he finally killed an enemy. Unfortunately, he didn't have time to celebrate as a golden long blade slashed across his neck. With that slash, Huang Zhengdao's head flew high into the air. Bang! His head exploded in midair, and a mountain peak collapsed into ruins. The remaining dozen members of the Huang clan elders shouted in unison, "Clan leader!" Swoosh! Li Kaienqiu's right hand transformed into a long blade, and the head of the great wilderness king python flew up. The king Xianing, who had been battling the python for a long time, soared into the sky, roaring angrily. The Huang clan elders simultaneously retreated towards the valley behind them. Li Kainkyu stepped forward like a crashing mountain and stomped 3 people to death, blocking their retreat. The elder army of the Li clan attacked from the rear, and 10 top elders were instantly crushed into pulp. The last elder cast his gaze into the distance. The Huang clan was within reach, yet, at this moment, it seemed as far away as the horizon. Even worse, a great number of elders had already arrived. Strike and reinforce, strike and reinforce. Which bastard came up with this plan? It's truly infuriating. Swoosh! The horizontal long blade sent the head of the last elder flying. The top echelon of the Huang clan was completely wiped out. Rumble! 300 giant beasts carried 300 Huang clan elders to the valley. Their momentum was like a rainbow, with a force that seemed to swallow the sky. Yet when they saw beneath the mountain that golden war god standing as if holding up the sky, and the 400 Li clan elders, their hearts skipped a beat. Where's our clan leader? Where's our top elder council? Oh God, they're all gone. Without this top tier of strength, even 300 elders couldn't possibly match the opposition. Li Kainkyu cracked a broad grin, laughing heartily. The strategy of my wise son-in-law, the third step to overpower with strength, marvelous. If on a normal day, Li Kainkyu uttered, wise son-in-law, it would likely incite a storm of discussion among the elder council, leading the Li clan to engage in a fierce debate for 3 days and nights over whether it was appropriate or inappropriate. But today, the elder council ignored this term altogether, and their hearts were filled only with ecstasy. The Huang clan, a clan as renowned as the Li clan. A long-standing shadow over the Li clan, finally torn apart today. 3 simple steps. Annihilation. Li Kainkyu raised a big hand and the battle commenced. He stepped forth directly into the center of the elder army, trampling underfoot whether it was ancient ferocious beasts or blades and swords. The king Xianing soared into the sky, its massive form casting a shadow over the mountains and rivers below. The elder council surged forward, as if injected with adrenaline. A quarter of an hour. Half of the 300 Huang clan elders were slaughtered. Half an hour. All cleared out. The 4th step onto the main peak. Li Kainkyu waved his hand, and the elder council charged towards the Huang clan's base. The top tier of the Huang clan had already been wiped out, leaving only 3 things to do: conquer, conquer, and damn it, conquer some more. In the final battle, the Li siblings and Lin Zaiasu did not participate. On the mountain peak, Li Feiyang slowly withdrew his gaze from the distance. Clan war can really be played like this. There was no answer. Beside him, Li Zui seemed a bit entranced, staring in one direction. In that direction stood someone, Lin Zaiasu. In his hand was a piece of black bamboo, what was known as 10,000 years void bamboo. It grew underground without leaves. Unlike any ordinary bamboo, in fact quite the opposite, its growth rate was incredibly slow. It couldn't even grow a section in 100 years. Yet in this valley, there stood one with 100 sections. What does that indicate? It indicates it has grown for at least 10,000 years. This brother here, his flute was shattered by Huang Zhengdao. It seems he wants to craft a new one. I'm curious whether the tune he wishes to play now is Floating Clouds Disperse. Li Feiyang chuckled lightly. There are no seasons underground. No day or night underground. But every race has its own way of measuring day and night. Take the Long Ear clan, for instance. When the young women in the tribe meticulously comb their hair and tidy the fur on the tips of their ears, it's roughly considered mourning. The clan leader looked at a young beauty beside him, full of admiration. This skin, this hair quality, this figure, he couldn't imagine which young man would benefit from it in the future. Why does she become more beautiful as she grows? Is this what they call a father's unique vision? Suddenly, her adorable little ears perked up. Under her small ears, her vibrant eyes stared in one direction. Following her gaze, the clan leader was shocked. Someone had leapt over the clear water river ahead. The clear water river was very sacred. Who would dare jump over it mindlessly? And when he looked closer at the person, he was even more startled. Great Elder. The usually steady and mature Great Elder was crossing the river with leaps. Moreover, with the next leap, he reached the mountainside, and with another, he was at his palace's entrance. Something's wrong, something major. His young daughter Yanner gently exhaled. Chapter 427. Chapter 427. Hard to dissipate tonight with wine. The sound of hurried footsteps, the great elder came striding in. Clan leader, something happened, something big. Speak. Last night, the Li clan went all out and annihilated the Huang clan. Annihilated, the clan leader exclaimed softly. Yes, Huang Zhengdao, dead, Huang clan elders all killed, all 13 peaks of the Huang clan, occupied by the Li clan. Out of the 193 clans in the Bridge Realm, only 192 remain now. The clan leader was completely stiff. The little beauty from the Long Ear clan, Yanner, beside him, had her mouth slightly open, seemingly frozen as well. In the Bridge Realm, disputes among the clans never cease. However, when had there ever been talk of annihilation? And it was the kind of direct removal from existence. Because all Bridge Realm bi-races have come through endless disputes, those that could be wiped out have long been wiped out, and those that haven't must have some reason for their survival, perhaps powerful influence, perhaps political alliances. There was always some balancing force. But now, overnight, the Li clan wiped out the Huang clan. In terms of overall strength, the Huang clan was clearly stronger than the Li clan. How could they be annihilated in just one night? Which power intervened? No external force, it was just one person. This person set up a plan in just 3 simple steps, and an ancient clan vanished into thin air. The great elder's face was unusually solemn. Who? It's the variable that led to the failure of the marriage alliance between our clan and the Li clan. This person is surnamed Su, a member of the Li Tian clan. Him, Yanner said. What brilliant tactics did he employ? The great elder recounted all the steps, distilled and summarized. This tactic, as described, is actually not brilliant, but the first step must be given high importance by the clan leader. This person seems to be proficient in the deceitful sound technique. The great elder elaborated. The first step of this person, namely a surprise victory. Accompanied only by a flute, he followed Li Qianqiu straight into one-line gorge. The flute played without a sound, but the mad spiders emerged and were annihilated under Li Qianqiu's command, and the mad spider team was thus eradicated. The clan leader was shocked. Such an extraordinary effect can only be achieved with our clan's deceitful sound technique, but to reach deep underground and arouse all the mad spiders is something even ordinary clan members can't do. Perhaps only the 2 of us possess such power. Exactly, that's why I said this person must not be left alive, the great elder said. A tribe wanting to establish itself in the underground Bridge Realm must have capital. The deceitful sound technique is the capital of the Long Ear clan. Now, a person who isn't even from the Long Ear clan has mastered this unique divine skill. What does this mean? It makes the unique divine skill of the Long Ear clan no longer unique. It touches the lifeline of the Long Ear clan. It shakes the core foundation of the clan. The clan leader slowly stretched out his hand and pressed down in the void. The great elder makes sense. This person must not be left alive. Eliminate him. Father, wait. Yanner turned her head from the window. The eyes of the 2 big bosses converged on her face. Yanner said. The great elder said his plan itself isn't brilliant, just 3 simple steps, but that's not the case. The great elder frowned. Yanner sighed softly. Sometimes when viewing a problem, you need to backtrack from the result. The strength of the Huang clan was superior to the Li clan. If a conventional strategist planned this battle, the greatest outcome would simply be self-preservation. But when he intervened with just 3 simple steps, the Li clan directly annihilated the Huang clan. The great elder might consider if these 3 steps were truly simple, why would there be such a bountiful result? The hearts of the 2 big bosses stirred simultaneously. Yanner said. The first step, the deceitful sound technique, is merely his skill, not noteworthy. But from the second step, it's his tactical thinking. He accurately predicted Huang Zhengdao's prediction. He knew Huang Zhengdao would come out, and he knew how many people he would bring, utilizing a time gap to achieve a complete reversal of strength. Is this not an extraordinary method? The great elder nodded slowly. Mrs. Words have cleared the clouds and revealed the sun. This person's strategy is deeply terrifying. Yet, precisely because he is not an ordinary person, our clan should all the more eliminate him. Eliminate him? But how to eliminate? Yanner said. He is currently on Li Shen Mountain. The Li clan just annexed the Huang clan, and they are at the peak of their ambition. Any clan with a sane mind should not provoke them at this moment. The clan leader and the great elder looked at each other. They both felt it made sense. A tribe should not be provoked in two circumstances. One, when they are in desperation. If you push them, they will fight you to the death. Two, at the peak of their ambition, when everyone is eager to fight, their morale is high, and their will to fight is unprecedented. If you dare provoke them, they may indeed wage another war. Bear in mind the Long Ear clan, solely in terms of strength, doesn't even surpass the Huang clan. The great elder hesitated for a long time. Miss, what do you think we should do? Yanar said, dispatch Zhuo Zhai to monitor him, wait for him to leave the Li clan, observe his direction, and then make a conclusion. On Li Shen Mountain, lights and decorations were everywhere. In the magma lake, singing to the rhythm. Even though the underworld couldn't tell day from night, the Li clan members still threw caution to the wind and passed chaotic times for the passionate frenzy of the celebration night. One battle to annihilate the Huang clan. The shadow over the Li clan was torn apart decisively and thoroughly. With this battle, the Li clan's name shook the Bridge realm by races. The grandeur of the ancestors returns today. The Li clan sons sleepless tonight. In Qingwan, Li Feiyang finally fulfilled his oft-repeated, not drunk, not returning. A vat of wine, two people drinking. Half a vat downed, Li Feiyang staggered out of Qingwan gate, seemed to collapse at the door, and was carried back by his maid on her shoulder. And Lin Ziasu, seemingly unaffected. But after seeing Li Feiyang off, he stumbled and almost fell off the red pavilion. Li Zui quickly caught him. As Lin Ziasu looked at her rosy cheeks, his gaze was a bit dazed. I'll take you to rest, Li Zui whispered. Lin Ziasu softened. Miss, I'll take the gentleman to rest, Jior whispered in Li Zui's ear. When men drink too much, sometimes they get handsy, and when they wake up they don't acknowledge it. Taking him to sleep is not appropriate for you, miss. Li Zui gave her a sidelong glance. Just because men get handsy when drunk, you say it's inappropriate. I'm okay. She carried Lin Ziasu into the guest room. However, the handsy behavior the two women discussed did not exist. Lin Ziasu was quite well behaved when drunk. His hands and feet were very proper. She laid him on the bed, covered him with the sheet, and he just slept. This nap might have been the most peaceful sleep he had since entering the underworld. His mind was clear, his body relaxed. Li Zui sat on a small stool by the bed, resting her chin as she quietly admired him. He was really handsome. The more she looked, the more handsome he seemed. His body didn't look as robust as the men from the Li clan, but when she carried him into the room, she clearly felt an astonishing strength within him. What kind of man is this? Why is he like a fascinating new book, where opening one page makes you want to read the second, the third, making it more and more difficult to put down? Is this the temperament cultivated from the outside world? Is this the unique charm of men from the outside? Time passed bit by bit. An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Li Zui reached out her hand, gently smoothing his hair on his forehead, where a few strands were slightly askew. Suddenly his eyes opened. Their four eyes met, in the quiet of the dim room. Awake, Li Zui said. Lin Ziasu closed his eyes again. I think I really drank a bit too much. Li Zui chuckled softly. You drank half a jar with my brother, not less than him, and he got drunk. You should go back and rest. I'm fine now, Lin Ziasu said. No, I'll stay with my husband. Oh my God. Lin Ziasu lightly patted his face. Miss, I have to tell you, the word husband really can't be said casually. You are my husband, my father acknowledged it, my mother too, everyone knows it. Li Zui blinked, looking innocent. You're still mentioning your father was purely led astray by you. Li Zui giggled. Actually, my father is quite cunning. In front of the elders he called you the virtuous son-in-law to test their reaction. Since there was no reaction, the matter was settled. Huh? Lin Ziasu was a bit surprised. Did this advantageous father-in-law use such a trick? The children of the Li clan's clan leader's family, their marriages aren't just personal affairs of the clan leader, they're public business of the clan. If a marriage clearly lacks propriety, the elders would object. What does it mean to lack propriety? It means it lacks clan dignity. For example, if someone like Li Zui, of the legitimate golden bloodline, marries into a mixed bloodline like the Li Tian clan, there would be voices of opposition within the clan. This old man is very cunning. He didn't directly bring up his daughter's marriage for discussion. He used the heat of a tense and life-threatening battlefield to sneak in a virtuous son-in-law to test everyone's reaction. How do you expect everyone to react? Everyone's minds aren't on the subject. Can they even react? As long as they don't react, the matter deviates right on the spot. The old man can righteously say to everyone in the future, I consulted everyone in front of you, I called him my virtuous son-in-law, and none of you reacted. By not reacting, isn't that tacit approval? Approval means it counts. Going back on your word isn't befitting of a nobleman. Which of the 36 stratagems is this? Miss, don't you feel that you might actually be playing with fire? Playing with fire is great. I always liked playing with fire. Li Zui blinked. No, aren't you afraid of entrusting the wrong person? Lin Ziasu could only speak more directly. Entrusting the wrong person. Husband, are you? Li Zui's gaze gently lifted, her breathing audible. Lin Ziasu slowly raised his head. I'm not sure, really, I can't be sure. You're not sure, but I am. Li Zui's arms lightly spread open, hugging him over the sheet, her face gently pressed against him. The fragrance of her golden hair wafted beneath Lin Ziasu's nose. Her warmth passed to him through the sheet. Lin Ziasu raised his hand gently, pressing it on her shoulder. Zui. Li Zui's heart gave a light jump. She breathed a gentle hum through her nose. It was the first time he called her by name instead of calling her miss. I don't want to give you a husband you're not ready for, nor should you give yourself a life you can't turn back from. Let's not rush giving to each other. Then, when should we give? When saying give, her voice trembled slightly as if the give held another meaning. Chapter 428. Chapter 428. Life always has its ups and downs. When you truly know what kind of person I am, when all of me unfolds before you, Lin Ziasu said, at that time you will have the chance to reevaluate your choice. I'll listen to you. On the day you leave the bridge realm, I'll give you this choice. Okay. All right, Lin Ziasu said, now you can leave, I feel. No, I'll just lie here. Li Zui gently lifted her hand and held his lips. Quietly lying in his arms, separated by a sheet. Lin Ziasu gazed out the window, through the heavenly Tao wisdom eye, staring at the section of the lake embankment amidst the fog outside. That section of the lake embankment. 3 ancient trees. The roots of the ancient trees were thick and the branches strong, but the leaves were few. Occasionally a few leaves flutter, half falling on this lake, half falling onto the magma lake. Those falling into the magma lake ignite in flames, while those landing on this lake flow away on the water. Under the trees, a noblewoman gazed at the falling leaves, sighing lightly. The leaves of the same tree choose differently, and thus the results differ. Beside her, Li Kainkyu chuckled softly. My dear, are you still hung up about his bloodline? The two of them were the true rulers of the Li clan. The clan leader Li Kainkyu and his wife. Li Zui's parents. The lady nodded slightly. Zui's bloodline is the most pure. At first glance, she seemed to hold potential to open a new door, but mingling with a secondary bloodline, all the high hopes we placed on her fell through. She mentioned 2 terms, one being first meeting, and the other secondary bloodline mingling, referring to the reproduction code of the Earth Core strange race. The Earth Core strange race carries ancient bloodlines within them. The only difference is in the purity of the bloodline. Bloodline propagation is a vast mystery that no one can understand, and every generation has a few individuals showing signs of atavism. Such atavism is what all major strange clans dream of, and Li Zui is a person with evident atavism. Her golden bloodline is even purer than her parents'. Thus, from a young age, she was showered with high expectations. Hoped that she could open the long-sealed door of the Earth Core strange race through the first meeting. What is first meeting? Mingling of those showing atavism. Why did they choose Dongcheng of the Long Ear clan? Because Dongcheng carried traits of atavism, more or less. 2 individuals with atavism mingling is called first meeting. And the Li Tian clan itself is of mixed breed, not of pure blood, it is a secondary bloodline. No matter how remarkable young Master Su might be, his bloodline is destined not to be primary. If Li Zui grants herself to him, her rare atavistic blood would be wasted. This is the lady's unresolved regret. In fact, is it just her? The clan leader himself has his own unresolved regret. However, being a man, his heart is broader, and he chuckled lightly. In a lifetime, like the fleeting autumn of plants and trees, not all responsibilities must be carried by future generations. The legend of first-time atavism unlocking is nearly negligible. There's no need to entangle oneself in it because of a legend. What my husband says is true. Actually, I have another dream. What? If she finds a legitimate human, perhaps the offspring's bloodline would be even more magical. Breed another Li Tian, Li Kainkyu said. Indeed, the Li Tian clan originally came from the union of the Li clan and the human clan. However, their progenitor's bloodline was not pure. If she united with the human clan, the new generation Li Tian born might be the real Li Tian recorded in ancient texts. Li Kainkyu laughed. Your idea may have been a good thought millennia ago, but today it is absolutely impossible. Today's human clan is mortal enemies with the Earth clan. If a human were to enter the Bridge Realm, they would only be a traitor of the human clan. We Li clan could accept secondary bloodline, but we would never accept someone of flawed character. At that point, it won't be you opposing the marriage. It will be me who resolutely opposes it. Most of the world's affairs do not go as one wishes, the lady sighed gloomily. Yes, settling for less might be a kind of beauty. The two drifted away. In the subterranean world, there is no distinction between day and night. It might indeed be like closing and opening your eyes. A day just passes by. When Lin Zaiasu opened his eyes again, he felt another day had passed, and history seemed to have turned a new page. In every aspect it appears so. The Li clan has turned a new page. And he himself seems to have too. He had never experienced himself lying on a bed, with a beautiful woman lying on him, separated by clothes and a sheet. Blue Demon, you should really come and see this. If you saw this scene, you would surely think Lin is a gentleman. In fact, Comrade Zio Lin's relationship to being a gentleman is like the relationship between Li Teibai and Wang Jibai. What relationship? No relationship. He did not make a move on Li Zui. Besides not daring, perhaps he also simply couldn't bear to. To say not daring, it was because he didn't dare to reveal his human clan identity. Throughout the Bridge Realm, the Earth Core strange race are enemies of the human clan. If he dared to reveal this hidden card, even if he grew 8 pairs of wings, he likely couldn't escape the Bridge Realm. To say he couldn't bear it, he still wasn't accustomed to using women as tools, especially a woman who clearly has good feelings towards him and can sleep soundly in his arms. Even if she's not human clan. Lin Zaiasu did not disturb her, and within his sea of consciousness, he began something he had long wanted to do but hadn't yet had the chance. That is the integration of the final element of the 5 elements. For the 5 elements, the Earthfall Beast contributed the Earth element. On the first day of the Lunar New Year, Liulin Temple's crossover with the Silver Mountain Bay contributed the Gold element. Kun Kang made a small bet and obtained the Water element. By Tashan Lake, the Saintess Kaian Ling offered a flower, contributing the Wood element. Only the last element is missing, the Fire element. Fire element beasts are rare on the surface, but underground they are abundant. Even a magma lake contains fire element beasts. That's the wager he made with the young clan chief of the Long Ear clan. Crimson Scale. In his secret realm space, he has 5 of them. The secret realm space is a very special space where there is no oxygen. Any fresh food brought in never rots or spoils, no matter how long it stays. Crimson Scale caught inside remains fresh, even in high external temperatures that would cause it to rot in half a day. With a thought, Lin Zaiasu transformed a thread of true chi into a sword and cut off the head of one crimson scale, revealing a crimson primordial crystal inside. This primordial crystal is of the fire attribute, and without it, the crimson scale would not survive in magma. The primordial crystal was sent into the inner wall of the space, initiating a familiar process. The spatial turbulence was crushed and transformed into a pure energy that entered his meridians. Upon entering, his true chi changed. The 5 elements gathered, perpetually renewing. The blood tower transformed. The 4th drop of heavenly star tears formed out of nothing and dropped in an instant, entering the secret realm space storage. The flesh star was generated again. And in just half a 2-hour period, the flesh star dropped, scattered, and merged throughout his body. The blood tower of gathered 5 elements like a flawless precision instrument, quickly distributing the flesh star throughout his body, his internal organs, and his skin seemed to cheer in unison, strengthening synchronously. Even more incredibly, with the full body circulation of the 5 elements true chi, the most challenging bone star also began to form, and the rate of formation far exceeded past efforts. It's worth noting that the first time Lin Zaiasu formed a bone star, he walked beside the river for 3 days and nights, expending nearly superhuman effort before it was formed with difficulty. But now it seems almost natural. Indeed, the 5 elements are not merely 4 plus 1. The 5 elements symbolize completeness. Complete true chi, flawless blood tower at this moment, seemed to connect frequently with the initial settings of his cultivation technique, truly embodying the life law of continuous renewal. At this rate, observing heaven is promising. In at most half a year, he could achieve 9 stars shining in the sky and finally break into observing heaven. Once breaking into observing heaven, true chi can be released externally, allowing his strongest beautiful sword move, Li Ren Tears, to break free of the pawn's constraint and enter a realm of spontaneous freedom. Couldn't the enemies of the world be at his mercy? Even if not the enemies of the world, even in the bridge realm or Kun Kang, he could likely be invincible below the 4th realm. At this moment, the door to Qing Wan courtyard opened. Li Feiyang strode in. Jiaor stepped forward to meet him. Li Feiyang said, "Where is young Master Su?" "Asleep. Seems like he drank too much last night." Li Feiyang laughed heartily. "Where's your young lady?" "With the young master in bed." Li Feiyang's eyes widened instantly. On the bed, Lin Ziasu, with his exceptional senses, heard the conversation 10 jang away and slapped his own forehead. Li Zui in his arms woke up, her eyes widened and her face blushed deeply. "Did you hear what your maid said?" Lin Ziasu asked her. Li Zui bit her lip. "I'll beat her later." With a bounce, she got up and ran out. The next moment, Lin Ziasu also exited the room. Li Feiyang was now sitting in the red pavilion, leisurely spinning a teacup. "Brother, I originally didn't want to disturb you at this time, but I have to leave, and I might not see you for a while, so I needed to come say goodbye." "Where are you going?" Lin Ziasu took the teacup handed over by Jiaor. Li Zui raised her gaze, also looking at her brother, and the remaining blush quietly faded from her cheeks. Li Feiyang said, "Abyssal." "Abyssal?" Li Feiyang continued. "Breaking the array in the Abyssal and connecting with the Ancestor clan is the common mission of the Bai races of the Bridge realm. The clan has prepared 3,000 array crystal pillars and 300 second realm cultivators. Today, I'll lead them to the Abyssal." Lin Ziasu's heart skipped a beat. "Abyssal? There lies a rib of Emperor Kun. There is the gateway connecting to the Earth core world. The common aspiration of the Bai races of the Bridge realm is to break this array of absolute land and connect with the Ancestor clan. Therefore, for 10,000 years, efforts have never ceased. For these Bridge realm remnants, this is a sacred endeavor. So, regardless of how fiercely the Bai races of the Bridge realm battle over resources and territory, in this matter, they are unprecedentedly united. The common understanding is to contribute money or effort wherever it is needed. However, as the saying goes, where you sit determines your perspective. Differing positions lead to differing concerns. The positive energy of the Bai races in the Bridge realm, for the human clan, is a cataclysmic disaster. Chapter 429. Chapter 429. Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left. If they really manage to break through, those Dixon Ancestor clan members with supernatural abilities, entering the Bridge realm through the Abyssal, would basically be entering the human clan world. The 5 elements array gate below the divine temple outside doesn't have a high technical content. Once the Ancestor clan enters the Bridge realm, they can certainly leave it and enter the human clan world. Yes, among the strange clan in the Bridge realm, besides the Li Tian clan, no other strange clan dare stand in the sunlight of the outside world. But the Ancestor clan. Lin Ziasu dared not gamble. Because even Emperor Kun dared not gamble on this. If they really hadn't the ability to stand under the outside sunlight, why would Emperor Kun take 13 of his own ribs to establish the array of absolute land? The sacrifice made by Emperor Kun to stop them demonstrated that the Ancestor clan had ways to circumvent the restrictions of the outside sunlight. Of course, he could also gamble that the Abyssal cannot be breached. After all, for over 10,000 years, generations of Bridge realm remnants have constantly tried, but never succeeded. However, he still dared not gamble. Because he had read too many books and learned too much about the situation, he knew that in recent years the situation has changed. The progress at the Abyssal has begun to accelerate. In merely 10 years, many breakthroughs had been made. Optimists even concluded that within 3 years, a breakthrough was certain. A myriad of thoughts rapidly swirled in Lin Ziasu's mind at this moment. He gently lifted his teacup. 3,000 array crystal pillars, you all can really bear to part with them. I remember when I first arrived at the upper Li Divine Mountain, the great elder's hair was almost twisted into a braid. The words were light and had an air of mockery. Li Feiyang sighed softly. Who can truly bear it? Not to mention the great elder, who always treats wealth as if it's life. Even I can't bear it, but what can be done? This is the collective mission of the Bridge Realm. Our Li clan can't afford to falter at this critical juncture and gain a reputation for neglecting the bigger picture. Lin Zaiyasu laughed. Otherwise, why not take me to offset the debt? Offset the debt with you? Brother, your joke is. Li Feiyang laughed and said, if I could offset it, I'd really be willing to use myself, but they don't want that. I'm not joking, Lin Zaiyasu said. You can really use me to offset it. Isn't there a rule? Send out an array master if there's one, only send the array crystal pillars and other materials if there is. These words made Li Zui suddenly look up, her gaze complex. Jiaor wasn't as conflicted as her, and her eyes shone brightly. Li Feiyang's eyes widened in surprise. Brother, you understand the array. Otherwise, haven't you noticed that the temperature at Qingwan has dropped significantly compared to before? Li Feiyang sprang up. Qingwan's temperature. I did notice, but I always thought it was because the hot air outlet shifted again. Did you fix this warm array? Yes. Jiaor sprang up. I know it's inappropriate to speak, but I must say this. Third young master, when young master Su repaired the Qingwan warm array, I thought, if young master Su agreed to go to the abyssal, our Li clan really could save the 3,000 array crystal pillars. But Miss felt distressed for her husband, afraid he would be bullied outside, so she firmly wouldn't let me say it, but now my lord himself said it. The long speech truly highlighted Lin Zaiasu's array path expertise. Li Zui was at a loss for words. Li Feiyang's gaze turned to Lin Zaiasu. Brother, are you really willing to make the trip? Your sister can testify you didn't force me, I volunteered, Lin Zaiasu said. Great, Li Feiyang laughed heartily. I was already a bit reluctant to part with my brother, and now we don't have to part. Additionally, the saved resources can be your dowry for marrying my sister. I'll inform father. With a step forward, he pierced through the air, shooting out of Qingwan. At Clan Master Peak, Li Feiyang explained the situation thusly. The clan leader was stunned. His wife was also stunned. The straps on the great elder's body swished. What straps? The straps binding his body. 1 day earlier, in a bloody battle, he had fought alongside Li Qianqiu against Huang Zhengdao. Wasn't he torn? Yes, torn. Torn in half. If he were from the human clan, being torn in half would obviously be fatal. But the Li clan people's strength lies here. As long as the head is still on the neck, he won't die for a while. Once the battle ends, bind the two halves together and apply the potion, he'll be whole again in 3 months. This old fellow hadn't been injured for long, so he was still in the strapped phase. Li Feiyang's words were so stimulating that the straps flew off. He was very simple-minded. As the great elder, he constantly worried about resources for the clan. Saving 3,000 array crystal pillars meant what to him? Equivalent to a very frugal housewife planning to grit her teeth to buy a house, suddenly being told by the developer, Madam, you won a big prize, the house is free, no charge. Is he happy or not? What does the great elder think? Clan leader Li Qianqiu looked at him with a smile. The great elder gave the first true compliment of his life. The clan leader truly has a keen eye for a good son-in-law. This young Master Su, I knew at first glance he wasn't an ordinary person, and he even excels at array, completely considerate of our clan, talented, wise, loyal, a true man. Haha, the clan leader laughed heartily. Feiyang, go with your brother to the abyssal to fulfill his wish. All right. The lady took a step forward. Feiyang, you all go using your father's King Xianing. Along the way, there's no need to fear little bandits causing trouble, but warn him, once inside the abyssal, beware of those array masters especially. Yes, mother, Li Feiyang bowed to receive the command. In the next moment, like a volcanic eruption, the King Xianing, which only the clan leader previously rode, soared into the sky. Lin Zaiasu, Li Zui Jiaor and Li Feiyang simultaneously boarded the back of the King Xianing, speeding toward the south. The Xianing descended from the mountain, its vigor overwhelming the mountains and rivers. Sweeping mountainsides, igniting peaks with flames. Following the waterway, heavy fog rose over Qingjiang. Lin Zaiasu's gaze cast toward the riverfront, his brows slightly furrowing in deep thought. Brother, what are you looking at? This riverfront unexpectedly has Zhu Zhai. Lin Ziyasu's expression was rather calm, but his heart was already in turmoil. Because his heavenly Tao wisdom eye pierced through the clouds and fog, he saw a scene he absolutely did not expect. On the riverfront there was Zhu Zhai. Zhu Zhai, the ancient strange beast recorded in the mountain and river scripture. Rabbit ears and wolf body. Appearing in the ancient world is not strange, but this place is not ancient. This place is the bridge realm. How could they appear here? Zhu Zhai is a very peculiar creature, Li Feiang laughed. There's a word that fits them perfectly. Ambitious but talentless. They always think they can disrupt the heavens, but no matter which world they reach, they ultimately find themselves unable to survive, becoming dogs of various clans. Ambitious but talentless, Lin Ziyasu said. In Brother Feiyang's view, they are so unworthy. Worthy or unworthy is not absolute, Li Feiyang stated. Two-eared Zhu Zhai is too clever for its own good, but the four-eared Zhu Zhai is truly intelligent. Unfortunately, within the bridge realm, there's only the two-eared ones, no four-eared ones. What about the six-eared ones? Lin Ziyasu asked. 6 ears. The six-eared Zhu Zhai is a legend, Li Feiang replied. In legend, the six-eared Zhu Zhai truly embodies the ancestral ideal. What kind of ideal is the ancestral ideal? Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left. That's why they're called Zhu Zhai, Li Feiang explained. Lin Ziyasu's heart shook greatly. Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left. In the ancestral ideal of Zhu Zhai, they compare themselves to the Heavenly Tao. Heavenly Tao holds a fair center, but Zhu Zhai holds the left. What is meant by the left? Left paths in minor channels. It means that in their ancestral ideal, Zhu Zhai is the ancestor holding the world's left paths and minor channels. All sorts of conspiracies belong to its domain. What grandeur is this? What confidence is this? The day Blue Demon gave him a piece of news. Originally, no one knew the real name and surname of the nine-headed snake Daxia commander. But one day, a mysterious person delivered a secret document to Qianlong, unveiling the true name and surname of the Daxia commander completely, directly prompting Qianlong to initiate a netting operation against the nine-headed snake Daxia. Nine-headed snake, out of self-preservation, targeted Commander Wang Zhang's for assassination. This message could be said to have changed the layout of nine-headed snake Daxia with incomparable weight. Who delivered the message? Nobody knows. There was only one signature, a beast drawing, the six-eared Zhu Zhai. About Zhu Zhai, mountain and river scripture's record is brief, and he didn't know what the six-eared Zhu Zhai meant. He once set up 2 candidates wanting to ask. These 2 choices he never got to ask, and unexpectedly in this bridge realm, Li Feiang gave him the answer. Two-eared Zhu Zhai, too clever for its own good. Four-eared Zhu Zhai, truly intelligent. Six-eared Zhu Zhai, aligns with ancestral ideals. Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left. This drawing of a six-eared Zhu Zhai on paper, who drew it? What kind of person is he? With this thought, he skimmed past the Qingjiang riverfront, where Zhu Zhai was located. And a piece of news was also at this time delivered to the Long Ear clan's clan leader Peak. The little long-ear beauty Yanner brightened her eyes wide. It truly confirmed my initial judgment. This person, the secret he carries is extraordinary. His secret technique contends with my clan, and his tactics contend with the peerless military school. Yet he's also an array master. The clan leader frowned. Array master? How does Yanner know he's an array master? Yanner said, today was originally the day for each clan to send resources into the abyssal. Li Feiang himself is a resource escort, but he didn't bring array crystal pillars, nor 300 second realm experts, yet he brought him. There's only one explanation, he's an array master. This is seeing the essence through appearances. The great elder gently nodded. The lady notices details, it must be so. Then, should we seize this rare opportunity to set up an ambush along the way? Impossible, Yenner said. They are traveling with King Xianing, and of the 4 on King Xianing's back, 3 can contend with half-step fourth realms. Unless fourth realm experts make a move, only then can we guarantee a capture, but once fourth realms are dispatched against Li Qianqiu's dedicated mount, that equals starting a clan war. Li Qianqiu in anger, blood will flow like rivers, none can take it lightly. The clan leader slowly nodded. Yanner speaks wisely. Our clan absolutely cannot initiate a clan war with the Li clan at this time. Then, watch this person roam freely in the bridge realm with our eyes wide open. The clan leader fell silent as well. This person stole the predetermined bride of the Long Ear clan. This person also possesses the Long Ear clan's unique secret technique. Either point is enough for the Long Ear clan to kill him. But the reality is, we watch him roam freely yet cannot move. Chapter 430. Chapter 430. The Super Array Master enters the Abyssal. Yanar smiled faintly. Father, great elder, just because we don't act doesn't mean others won't. If he weren't an array master, he might indeed roam freely in the bridge realm, but he happens to be an array master. Once this array master enters the abyss, someone will inevitably target him. Let's sit back and watch the tigers fight. The clan leader and the great elder's eyes all lit up. On King Xianing's back, Li Feiyang exhaled lightly. Before leaving, Mother had some advice. Li Zui's heart skipped a beat. As a daughter, she was sensitive to her mother's advice, and she could guess what kind of advice it might be, roughly thinking below the belt. Mother surely advised her to fasten her belt tightly and not carelessly give away her body. Such advice from a mother is not surprising at all. It would be strange if she didn't give it. But would she listen? Oh no. Is this a topic suitable for public discussion? However, Li Feiyang's next word struck in her mind's pause. Li Feiyang said, Mother advised that, brother, when you enter the abyss, you need to be particularly wary of several array masters. Li Zui was overjoyed. Which array masters? Her joy was twofold. Firstly, that Mother did not present a direct challenge, and secondly, that this advice itself signified approval. Only true recognition would lead to real concern for his safety. Li Feiyang mentioned a few names. The array master of the Huang clan, Huang Yi. The array master of the Long Ear clan, Wushan. The array master of the Yin clan, Yin Xuan. Yin clan. Li Zui was slightly startled. Does our clan also hold a grudge against the Yin clan? Li Feiyang said, the Yin clan operates mainly in darkness. Do they need any grudges? These people, their blood is black. They do things that harm others without benefiting themselves. Is there anyone else? Lin Ziasu asked. There's one more person you need to be extra cautious of, Li Feiyang said, Li Qing. Li Qing. As soon as this name was mentioned, everyone on King Xianing's back fell silent simultaneously. Li Qing, originally a Li clan member, had Li clan blood flowing in her veins, and her level was not low. A silver bloodline, representing the second level of the Li clan, second only to the clan leader's golden bloodline. She was once an array master of the Li clan. The Li clan excels in bloodline strength and prowess on the battlefield. The art of array is scarcely practiced, and she was the only one in 300 years. Her array mastery was profound. She was a renowned array grandmaster in the bridge realm. She also once brought glory to the Li clan. However, 300 years ago, the Li clan split in two, and she abandoned her original system to choose the magic system, the Ancestor Hall. Since then, the Li clan has had no array masters. The Qingwan she left behind became a place, both loved and hated by the Li clan members. This name gradually became a sore point for the clan members. A slight smile appeared on Lin Ziasu's lips. Rest assured, although I'm quite straightforward, I'm not stupid. Straightforward? Li Feiyang laughed heartily. Brother, let me be honest with you. I've doubted your battle prowess, your drinking capacity, and even the authenticity of your talent. But I've never doubted your straightforwardness because I know very clearly that with your eyes rolling and 800 cunning tricks, it absolutely has nothing to do with being straightforward. Brother Feiyang, you're not being fair. Let your sister tell you, have I ever tried to be cunning in front of her? Li Feiyang said, come on, if you weren't being cunning, would my sister be so infatuated with you? Do you think my sister has never seen handsome men? Li Zui originally listened happily to her brother chatting with her love, but once they started on this topic, she couldn't listen anymore. She kicked her brother hard and used the Li clan's special vibration skill to send a message. Don't oppose your nonsense, but can you avoid involving me in your discussions? The fierce wind whipped their faces all the way. Blazing flames soared along the way. Lively debates roared the entire way. All the way straight to the abyss. 7 hours passed in the air, and the temperature gradually dropped. Ahead in a deep valley, King Xianing dove down like a super blade slicing through the curtain before them, and suddenly Lin Ziasu felt as if he had entered a different world. A deep valley shrouded in cloud and fog. In the valley, a tree so enormous it seemed boundless. This tree's roots were planted in an unknown location, while its top disappeared into a void. Without the gigantic branches stretching across the sky swaying, you might even mistake this tree for a towering mountain. To the right, crimson lava erupted, forming a waterfall that plunged into the bottomless abyss, leaving only this red streak in the void. This streak of color brought a hint of brightness to the pitch-black abyss. As Lin Zaiasu rode King Xianing across miles of underground terrain to reach the abyss, he was immediately taken aback by the abyss's abnormality. Strange, grand, bold. These descriptors, which usually have no connection, seemed to perfectly converge over this abyss. King Xianing made a sidestep, slicing through the deep darkness of the abyss, shooting towards a massive platform ahead. This platform, suspended above the tree, looked like a floating temple from afar, revealing its grand design upon closer view. The platform was hundreds of feet wide, with people, beasts, and monsters, as well as high terraces. People who perhaps are monsters themselves, because here it gathered people from all the races of the Bridge Realm. There are the giant clan towering several meters tall, the Ying clan as small as infants, the Dai Lan clan whose bodies emit blue light, and the Dai Ling clan whose bodies emit white light. There are the Li clan, Li Tian clan, Huang clan, and Long Ear clan that resemble humans somewhat, and there are the Dong clan and Yu clan that are completely unlike humans. Naturally, most of them bear some human-like features, verified by biology, having limbs, 2 ears, 2 eyes, walking upright, which are best suited for survival in the biological world. Hence, through the natural selection of survival of the fittest, many races eventually tend toward this commonality. Such were the myriad Wan clan in ancient times. In fact, the myriad subterranean clans evolved similarly. A voice came from above the platform. Ying clan transaction. 500 array crystal pillars, 100 young men from the second realm. Lin Zaiasu lifted his gaze, staring at where the voice came from. It was difficult to say that the person making the sound was human. At first glance, it was just a large head covered with densely packed hair. The hair was sparse, the head large with almost no body. If taken outside, rolled in the dark, just seeing it would be enough to scare everyone sick. The Yi clan is the one in charge of the abyss, Li Zui whispered in his ear. The Yi clan was inherently a tribe from beneath this abyss, extremely mysterious and extremely powerful. The races of the Bridge Realm arriving at the abyss, strong dragons do not suppress the local snakes, letting them lead seemed reasonable. Lin Zaiasu nodded gently. The Ying clan began the transaction. 500 glistening array crystal pillars were sent up to the platform, and 100 young men stood waiting for orders. From this angle, they truly seemed like a group of ants lined up in tidy rows. Perhaps this is a visual disparity created by comparison, because behind them are the tallest people of the giant clan. People of the giant clan, who are generally taller than 1 meter, the tallest reaching beyond 2 meters, and that leader directly over 3 meters. Giant clan transaction, 800 array crystal pillars, 200 young men from the second realm. Jaior's voice came through. Miss, this is what you call unfair. The giant clan has about the same number of people as our clan and occupies similar land, yet they get 800 crystal pillars and 200 young men, while we have 3,000 crystal pillars and 300 young men. Don't be angry, we won't give away anything today. Jaior replied, that's because we have a lord, although the lord isn't really worthy but... Shut up, Li Zui glared at her. Better to say nothing than speak poorly. What do you mean the lord is worthy? Lin Zaiasu rubbed his forehead, turned around. Brother Feiyang, go ahead. Li Feiyang said, Brother, are you ready? Ready, let's go. Li Feiyang and Lin Zaiasu stepped forward side by side, straight onto the platform. Li Feiyang's golden hair was rather eye-catching among a group of differently shaped beings. The round figure of the Yi clan on the high platform locked eyes and spoke up. Li clan transaction, 3,000 array crystal pillars, 300 young men from the second realm. At that shout the field fell silent. Perhaps due to this awe-inspiring number, or perhaps because of the poignant name of the Li clan. Although the Bridge Realm is vast and races are abundant, information spreads quickly. The explosive news of the Li clan destroying the Huang clan had long spread across the Bridge Realm. Some clans rejoiced, others lamented, some worried and feared, some enjoyed the drama, each with their own feelings, but they all shared one common sentiment, a sense of awe. This was the first time since the Li clan annihilated the Huang clan that a prominent figure appeared in public. Would it bring something different? Something different soon came. Li Feiyang stepped onto the platform and declared loudly, The Li clan does not need to trade resources. The Li clan will provide array masters. These words sparked uproar across the field. On the highest platform above, amidst a heap of black hair, a pair of eyes suddenly opened. Once these eyes opened, the entire platform seemed to become an eternal Chang Yi. This person was indeed the true leader of the Yi clan, Elder Yi Gui, whose cultivation had reached the fourth realm. On the lower platform below, there was a buzz of discussion. The Li clan providing array masters, do they have any? They have none. Years ago there was one, but he didn't recognize the Li clan. He acknowledged the ancestor hall instead. Could it be they find the task too difficult and intend to shirk the duty? Indeed, it was quite demanding. Out of 193 races, theirs was the only allotment exceeding 2,000, reaching 3,000. What were they even thinking then? How else could they have thought? When the Huang clan was leading the meeting, could they have missed the chance to hit them hard? Brother, don't mention it. That strike felt satisfying, but the consequences were extremely severe. The Li clan mobilized their troops and directly exterminated the Huang clan. A nearby person whispered. My heavens, the Li clan wiped out the Huang clan just because of a greater share of duty. Such an incredible sense of revenge. All at once the rhythm below changed. Several young members of the Huang clan looked enraged, their faces clouded with black despair, their eyes filled with fiery anger. Li Feiyang looked towards the Yi clan's leader, Elder Yi Gui. Elder Yi, in the grand undertaking at the abyss, each clan providing people, contributing strength, and those with array masters need not provide resources. This is the consensus among the clans, is it not? Of course it is. Elder Yi Gui grinned widely. The esteemed array master of your clan, where is he? Lin Zaiyasu stepped forward. I am. Elder Yi Gui's gaze, like an eerie candle, fell upon Lin Zaiyasu, his face full of astonishment. Are you a Li Tian clan member? I am. How old are you? 24. A mere 24 years, array master. Chapter 431. Chapter 431. Counterbinding array sect. Yi Gui merely asked a seemingly casual question. The place erupted completely. A young member of the Huang clan suddenly stood up. Do you unwillingly refuse to provide an array crystal pillar by casually sending someone to fob us off? Exactly, another person stood up. Using an inexperienced, worthless brat to impersonate an array master, dreaming of gaining profit without resources, the Li clan really played a clever move. This person had notably long ears, clearly a member of the Long Ear clan. Long Ear clan members were the most well-informed. Their young clan chief suffered a huge loss on Li Shen Mountain, humiliated by a young member of the Li Tian clan, and the marriage alliance fell through, which the Long Ear clan considered a great disgrace. Whenever they faced the Li clan or the Li Tian clan, they were in complete agreement. If suppression was possible, they would suppress them to death. With these two leading the rhythm, the atmosphere of the entire place shifted accordingly. Everyone thought there was a problem with this. In the abyssal grand plan, some provide manpower, some provide strength, and some provide resources. This was a consensus among the clans. Lately, the allocation of resources had become heavier, and each clan had their own calculations. The Li clan set this precedent, casually finding someone to impersonate an array master. If this trend wasn't curbed, would future clans not follow the lead? Who would willingly provide resources then? Finding someone was so easy, wasn't it? In the depths beneath, not to mention people with 2 legs, even those with 8 legs were easy to find. On the high platform, Lin Zaiyasu faced Yi Gui's pointed question with a faint smile. Elder Yi, do you think that age necessarily correlates with array mastery? Yi Gui also laughed. His laughter was sharp and piercing. Young man, did your elders never tell you that the array is vast and profound, requiring 100 years of hard work to master? This was the fundamental reason he asked Lin Zaiyasu about his age. Because it involved the laws of the array. The array is vast and profound. Without deep foundation and long-term research, it's impossible to become an array master. Lin Zaiyasu was only 24. How could he be an array master? Lin Zaiyasu said, did your mentor ever tell you one thing, elder? In the world of geniuses, time is meaningless. Yi Gui's pupils suddenly contracted. On the high platform, it seemed like dark clouds were gathering. The crowd erupted again below. Arrogant brat, how dare you show such disrespect in front of an elder? Ignorant fool, do you know who you're facing? Kill him to uphold the abyssal rules. For a moment, the crowd was in a collective outrage. Perhaps only two people, their eyes shining infinitely. Li Zui held her chest with both hands. For the first time in her life, she felt like a fangirl. In the world of geniuses, time is meaningless. This was the only phrase that came out of his mouth that was overwhelmingly dominant. He, at last, displayed his brilliance before the heroes of the Bridge Realm. Previously, even when he waved his hand to disperse the clouds and extinguish the Huang clan, he had never shown such brilliance. She really liked him today. Whispers came from Jayor. "Miss, don't you think the master looks so impressive?" Ha ha ha! Suddenly, on the other side of the high platform, as if a curtain was drawn, an array platform appeared before the crowd. On the array platform, a middle-aged Su clan member with fleshy sideburns lifted his hand, pointing directly at Lin Ziasu's nose. "What a fool who doesn't know the vastness of the heavens and the earth. Come over. As long as you can take half a step onto this array platform of mine, I will acknowledge you as an array master. If not, I will kill you." Lin Ziasu didn't even look at him. He looked at Yi Gui. "Elder Yi, is this considered a test?" "Yes." Yi Gui's voice was like ice hitting the ground. He was still seething with anger over Lin Ziasu's previous disrespect, this kid who dared to say in front of him, "Did your elder ever tell you?" This to him, a giant of the fourth realm, how could he endure? "He must suppress your arrogant arrogance." "All right then." Lin Ziasu turned around and stepped towards the array platform. "Activate the array." The Su clan's array master raised his hand, and a bronze array pen appeared in his palm. He drew a stroke, pointing at a disc in front of him. The array platform suddenly underwent a transformation. An incredible transformation. At the edge of the array platform, lotus blossoms bloomed, each one emanating endless killing intent. As soon as this formation was set, exclamations erupted below. "The 1,000 Lotus Killing Array. This is Master Su's unique killing array." Yes, even a Fourth Realm Grandmaster claims that Master Su's 1,000 Lotus Killing Array, created by integrating the three ancient strange arrays, has hidden hints of breaking through the Third Realm into the Fourth Realm. Oh my God, a half-step Fourth Realm killing array used to test a young man. Isn't this going too far? Who's to blame for this kid being too arrogant? Who does he think he is, daring to be so audacious in the Abyssal? Exactly, what is the Abyssal? All the top array masters in the Bridge Realm are here, and he dares to say that in the world of geniuses, time is meaningless. Isn't this like pointing at the noses of those old masters, calling them old and useless? Amidst the discussions, Li Zui and Jayor were both nervous. They had indeed witnessed Lin Ziasu's display of array skills before. He had repaired the warm array left by Li Qing. The technique was indeed mysterious, but they had no idea to what extent his array mastery had reached. But regardless, the words of the people around still made their hearts pound. Because the terms Third Realm and Fourth Realm were incredibly terrifying. Array path, like the cultivation path, was also divided by realms. The array path is unique, rare, and precious. As long as someone was involved in array formation, they were celebrated in the complex lands of Bridge Realm. A Third Realm array master was of Grandmaster level, receiving VIP treatment in every major clan. And reaching the Fourth Realm, one could sit and discuss matters with the leaders of major clans. The Su clan array Grandmaster, named Zumi. He was also renowned in the Bridge Realm. Claimed to be the best below the Fourth Realm, he was thus the array examiner in the Abyssal. Encountering such a roadblock at the Abyssal, could Jayor's master-in-law, Zui's husband, overcome this high peak, to gain the Abyssal's recognition? The two women were very nervous, yet Lin Ziasu showed no sign of nervousness. He stepped towards the array platform. The lotus blossoms on the platform flashed with killing intent, his hair gently swaying in the wind. Step by step, he moved closer to the pulsing killing intent. His footsteps surprisingly showed no change. He remained steady and unhurried. Zumi on the array platform stared at him coldly. In the next step, he would touch this layer of killing intent. Suddenly, the array pen in Zumi's hand flickered. The lotus killing intent, which was a foot away from Lin Ziasu, suddenly shot out like flames, aiming at the space where Lin Ziasu stood. Li Feiyang's expression changed sharply. "Be careful." As soon as the words were spoken, Lin Ziasu's hand rose. A bronze array pen pointed into the void. With a faint hiss, the murderous lotus in the form of a fire dragon spurting from the valley split into two sides, centering on him. Lin Zaiasu stepped across and stood on the array platform. The murderous lotus's intent still flickered around, but it was already behind him. On the high platform, Yigui's pupils suddenly shrank. Below the high platform, there was a dead silence. Had he passed a half-step fourth realm's 1,000 lotus killing array that easily? Yumi's eyes widened, looking at Lin Zaiasu standing in front of him, almost unable to believe his eyes. Lin Zaiasu said, "The 1,000 lotus killing array actually has another change." Yumi responded blankly, "What?" Lin Zaiasu said, "Transform outside killing to inside killing. Try it yourself." With a stroke of his bronze pen, like dividing yin and yang. The array platform suddenly changed. The outward sputtering 1,000 lotus killing intent abruptly turned, aiming at the array platform. Aiming at Yumi on the array platform. Yumi's face changed dramatically. His left hand spun up a bronze array plate, while his right hand pointed fiercely with a bronze array pen. The array plate shattered. Rip! The array pen broke. The next moment, the array path's killing intent hit Yumi's body directly. His whole body shuddered. The fleshy tendrils extended rapidly. The array path's killing intent covered his entire body, turning each fleshy tendril into a blood mist. His heart was already icy cold, his life hanging by a thread. Lin Zaiasu's hand lifted. The bronze array pen pointed at the array platform in front of him. The array path's killing intent vanished in an instant. Yumi was bathed in blood, like a fierce ghost who had made a round trip through the gates of hell and came back out. A look of confusion and endless terror. "Yumi, I'll spare your life, but take this as a warning," Lin Zaiasu said. "Don't speak recklessly without truly understanding your opponent." He stepped off the array platform. The entire audience erupted. "What is this called, a reverse kill?" someone shouted. "A reverse kill in the blink of an eye against a half-step fourth realms. He is a 4 realms array master." How is this possible? There are only 17 4 realms array masters in the entire bridge realm, all in the inner layer space. The truth is right in front of us, so we have to believe there are 18 4 realms array masters in the bridge realm. In the crowd, Li Zui stared blankly at the high platform, Jior jumping beside her, seemingly unnoticed. Her mind was a chaotic mess. Oh my God, a 4 realms array master. Is he truly a significant figure comparable to my father? How could this be? I liked him not for his status or position, but because I liked his face. I just wanted to have a child with him, to see the rising and setting of the sun and moon, the thriving of grass and the singing of orioles in that world my brother is obsessed with, to experience the apricot blossom rain he spoke of, to feel the poetic breeze through the willow trees. But he stood before me like this, proving his mastery in the array path in a super explosive way. Suddenly, the high platform slowly lit up. Like the sky lighting up with more than 10 night lamps, or like the vast galaxy where more than 10 stars were shining. Lin Zaiasu raised his gaze, staring upward. Everyone's eyes converged upward. The high platform was originally a tree. There were branches on the tree. More than 10 leaves on a main branch lit up. Each leaf seemed to be a piece of the starry sky. Inside each leaf, there was a person, all dressed as array masters. 4 realms array masters, projecting with arrays, collectively making an appearance. Reverse yin and yang, Kainkun breaking array hand. A voice came from one of the leaves. This was a figure whose face was unclear, resembling a celestial immortal elder, his voice low and penetrating. "Elder, you have a keen eye," Lin Zaiasu slightly bowed. "Young man, who taught you?" Another person spoke, leaning against a big tree, pointing lazily at Lin Zaiasu below. Li Feiyang immediately locked eyes. A thread of voice entered Lin Zaiasu's ear. "Yin Xuan." Yin Xuan, the array master of the Yin clan, specifically mentioned by his mother before she left. Because the blood of the Yin clan is black, their main style of action is Yin, tricking enemies, betraying friends, and when ruthless, even themselves. Lin Zaiasu replied calmly, "Elder, have I ever asked who your teacher was?" Yin Xuan's gaze turned cold. "What do you mean?" "I mean, at the breaking of the abyssal, the capable one comes first. I don't ask your teacher. You don't need to ask mine." "Such a rude, ignorant, mentorless, and respectless brat," Yin Xuan said coldly. "Old Ghost Yi, I disagree with this child's entry into the abyssal." Chapter 432. Chapter 432. An alternative explanation of the life gate. Indeed, on another leaf an array master said, Breaking the Abyss Array is a matter concerning the Bridge Realm by races. How can we allow an unknown betrayer to enter and ruin the by race's grand plan? In my opinion, such a madman should be executed on the spot to prevent future troubles. This person was the least like an array master because he was from the Huang clan, Huang Yi. Even if people from the Huang clan wore the clothing of an array master, they resembled wild beasts of the wilderness, clashing with the flowing robes and immortal demeanor of the array path. Huang Yi raised an accusation. His attack was understandable by everyone. After all, his clan had been exterminated, and the fire in his heart was burning fiercely. Anyone related to the Li clan in his book was only to be killed. And Lin Ziasu happened to be an array master from the Li clan. Thus, Yin Xuan, known for his craftiness, merely refused Lin Ziasu entry, while he went a step further, proposing to kill Lin Ziasu. Though this suggestion seemed absurd, his words carried venom. He directly pointed out that Lin Ziasu's origin was unknown. Entering the abyss might disrupt the plans of the various clans. This struck a nerve at the most sensitive point of the various clans. People below started discussing fervently. Master Huang has a point. Currently, so many people and resources have been gathered by various clans, we can't afford internal sabotage. Someone of unknown origin truly shouldn't enter the inner layer. If any sabotage occurs, the cost would be too great. Huang Master is correct. Not only should he not enter since he's here in the abyss, we can't allow him to leave, or else disaster will surely follow. This was another member of the Huang clan, stirring up trouble from the outside. On the branch, Wushan from the Long Ear clan spoke up, agreeing with Huang Yi's proposal. The Dong clan agreed. The Yu clan agreed. For a moment, the idea of executing Lin Ziasu became mainstream. Li Feiyang's face turned livid. Yet Lin Ziasu remained calm. Sometimes, one can see the whole picture from a single detail. Amidst the chaos, facing the bridge realm by races, he always needed to understand the basic stances of these clans. The speeches of the array masters weren't spoken lightly. Every word actually represented the basic stance of their respective clans. From this almost one-sided situation, it seemed the Li clan had become a taboo in the bridge realm. Their reputation wasn't exactly good. In fact, this was understandable. Originally, everyone was struggling and fighting in the bridge realm, engaging in blatant and subtle battles beneath the table, and suddenly, you from the Li clan stood up and flipped the table. Breaking the equilibrium. People became wary of the Li clan, dissatisfied with the Li clan for disrupting the status quo and unilaterally changing the game rules. Therefore, there were signs indicating that anything the Li clan wanted to do wouldn't turn out well. Suddenly, a leaf at the top shone brightly. A voice came. The clans have already reached a consensus to select talent according to ability and to plan big endeavors together. What changed now? The voice was cold, but also had its own sense of majesty. Lin Ziasu raised his gaze, staring at the leaf. On the leaf, a silver-haired woman, elegantly beautiful, truly had the appearance of a celestial being. He was very familiar with her appearance. This day, she still stood as a statue in Qingwan. She was Li Qing of the Li clan. As soon as Li Qing spoke, the voices of the other array masters stopped abruptly. Li Qing's gaze swept across the audience. This young man is skilled in the Kaienkan breaking array hand, precisely the talent we need. Regardless of where he comes from or which school he belongs to, as long as he can join us in our grand cause, he is an abyssal array master. As for internal sabotage, our mission is to disrupt, and if someone can sabotage from within, I would wish for it. These words were spoken. The whole scene's direction completely changed. Indeed, everyone had been led astray by Huang Yi, neglecting the uniqueness of the current Abyss Grand Endeavor. This grand endeavor isn't about constructing an array defense system. Quite the opposite, it is about destroying the ancient array. Constructing an array defense requires preventing sabotage, but the breaking array is fundamentally about destruction. Is it necessary to worry about someone with ulterior motives causing sabotage? The focus was entirely wrong. Yigui nodded slowly. Master Li speaks reasonably. No need to argue anymore, young man. You can represent the Li clan and enter the array zone. Lin Ziasu smiled slightly. Brother Feiyang, I am going in. Brother, be careful. Li Feiyang lightly embraced his shoulder. I will wait for you outside. Actually, there's no need to wait, Lin Ziasu said. I don't even know how long this will take. No matter how long I will wait. Yigui's hair gently lifted as an ancient bronze gate opened slowly beneath his black hair, revealing a deep interior. Lin Zaiasu bid farewell to Li Feiyang and stepped into the gateway. Li Feiyang leaped down from the high platform, landing beside his sister. Li Zui reached out and held her brother's hand, communicating with him through the unique vibration method of the Li clan. Brother, does it seem that Li Qing still has some familial feelings at the critical moment? Yes, perhaps this is what they call the ordinary state of brotherly rivalry, but there's unity against an external enemy. Li Feiyang felt quite gratified, because today he had overturned Li Qing's impression of him. Li Qing was a traitor to the Li clan. For the original system of the Li clan, she was undoubtedly a traitor. Because she chose the magic system over the original system, which imposed a great cost on the original system, such as the annual distribution of resources and the reputation and prestige in the bridge realm. However, this was merely a struggle between the magic system and the original system. When faced with an external enemy, the magic system and the original system were still one family. When almost everyone pointed their fingers at the Li clan, only she stood up, assertive, resolute, unwavering, and acknowledged Lin Zaiasu. Her acknowledgement also meant accepting the basic plan of the Li clan, to adopt Lin Zaiasu as the array master. This is what they call the ordinary state of brotherly rivalry, but there's unity against an external enemy. Within the family, there can be arguments until one's face turns red, but in front of outsiders, they are still one family. A voice suddenly sounded from beside them. Brother Li, you seem quite optimistic, don't you? Sorry, but I have a few words that I must say. Li Feiyang turned his gaze to see a young gentleman. This person was Dingsheng, the saint heir of the Long Ear clan. Among the clans, the clan leader's direct descendants are generally numerous, especially for a race like the Long Ear clan, which has rabbit-like genes. They reproduce rapidly, often having multiple offspring at once. But regardless of the clan, there is always a saint heir. What is a saint heir? The one with the highest status among the direct descendants. The saint heir of the Li clan is Li Feiyang's elder brother, and the saint heir of the Long Ear clan is this Dingsheng in front of them. What does the saint heir wish to say? Li Feiyang asked. You have high hopes for this young master Su, do you? He's taking the life gate. The life gate? So what? Li Feiyang wasn't truly knowledgeable about the array path, but he roughly understood that there were life gates and death gates in arrays, so taking the walking gate was just fine, wasn't it? Dingsheng smiled. The life gate in the array zone is not the life gate of the array path. The life gate of the array zone signifies a path never traveled by predecessors. Indeed, each must carve their own path to the array zone. One cannot, without reason, reap the benefits provided by another race. Do you agree? Li Feiyang's smile suddenly froze. A person beside him chuckled and said, the array zone, an ancient residual array, is most perilous. Array patterns are shadowless, killing without form. How many generations of array masters were buried on the pioneering journey? Precisely because the forebears planted trees, the later generations can enjoy the shade. However, the Li clan seems not to have any intention of collaborating with other clans. Other clans presumably wouldn't want to offer the Li clan the path they've opened. Hence, all of this is just retribution. This person was from the Yin clan. As people spoke one after another, Li Feiyang's expression completely changed. He held his sister's hand with increasing tightness. They understood, their hearts rose with tension. The array zone in front of them was an ancient residual array. Only by breaking through one path in the residual array could they enter the inner layer array zone. Was it really so easy to break through this path? The bi-races of the bridge realm, generation after generation, expended millions of array masters just to explore this one path, allowing them to advance into the inner layer space. Generally, subsequent array masters could tread safely along this path, opened by predecessors straight to the inner layer. This was also the conventional method. However, the starting phase today wasn't conventional. Lin Zaiasu triggered massive controversy. Besides the Ancestor Hall, represented by Li Qing, who openly supported him, there was scarcely another supporter. Everyone tacitly avoided the path into the inner layer platform. Yigui, the old fellow, directly opened a new path. How perilous is an ancient residual array? To open a new path, could it ever be routine? No matter how brilliant Lin Zaiasu is, how could he contend alone against thousands of array masters over tens of millennia? The path he embarked on was a dead end from the very start. The word life in the life gate is not the life opposite of death, but the raw opposite of ripe. The other path is well-trodden and familiar. The route he's taking is completely unfamiliar. Fury surged in Li Feiyang's heart, while Li Zui was engulfed by tumultuous waves. The siblings ascended the high platform together, coming in front of Yi Gui. Elder Yi, quickly open this door and let our brother out. Yi Gui said calmly, the door is shut and cannot be reopened. Cannot be reopened. Li Zui was furious. There clearly is an old path opened by predecessors that leads safely to the destination. Why insist on creating a new path? Yi Gui replied, the path opened by predecessors with countless efforts ultimately requires agreement from these clans before allowing others to enjoy the fruits. Why don't you ask, do these clans agree? No agreement, exclaimed someone nearby. The efforts made by predecessors have nothing to do with your Li clan. Today, you still dream of enjoying the fruits. Dream on. One member of the Huang clan retorted righteously. Exactly, doesn't your Li clan claim to be capable? Don't you manage affairs on your own? Added someone from the Long Ear clan. Then open a new path yourself. Li Zui roared angrily, not opening the door right, then I shall open it myself. As soon as her voice fell, her entire body suddenly burst into flames, transforming into a giant lotus, charging at the stone wall before her. However, as she collided, the stone wall turned into an illusion, causing her to plunge inexplicably into the abyss below. Yi Gui's icy voice echoed, want to act recklessly in the netherworld. You mere juniors are far from enough. If you have the guts, let Li Kainkyu come personally and try. Chapter 433. Chapter 433. Array patterns kill Huang Yi. Li Feiyang leaped down. The fire lotus in the abyss below shot up into the sky and landed beside him. The two held hands, their faces all ashen. The situation has become a deadlock. With their abilities, they couldn't rescue Lin Zaiasu from the outside, and could only watch helplessly as he was duped onto that dead-end road by this group of schemers. Sister, no need to worry too much. Brother Su is no ordinary person, perhaps. No, he will definitely be fine. Li Zui slowly raised her gaze. If anything happens to him, I, Li Zui, swear by the heavens, I will not let any of you involved today get away. Her voice rose to the high platform, and Yi Gui's pupils contracted, staring at her coldly. Within the array zone, Lin Zaiasu took a step in, experiencing again the desolation he felt when he entered the forbidden area of the ancient array sect. The high temperature outside was halved upon entering the abyss. After entering the array zone, it almost completely disappeared. Not only was it not hot here, but rather cold. It wasn't a chill on the skin, but a bone-deep cold. Because this was a place that no one had come to for thousands of years, where white bones lay everywhere, the aura of death silently lingering, and the killing intent of the array Tao still hovering here. Under his heavenly Tao wisdom eye, he saw the array patterns. Array Tao residual patterns, the killing intent remains. Silk by silk, strand by strand completely disordered. The array Tao is originally the law of order. Any strand of array pattern should be where it belongs. Only in one situation would array patterns be everywhere and randomly wandering, when a sufficiently high-level formation is destroyed. A large formation sufficiently high-end, ironically called having a soul or spirit. After being destroyed, the array patterns wouldn't immediately disappear, but would long drift in the formation field. These array patterns are the nightmare of all in the array Tao. Because they have no pattern, trying to connect through the array Tao to find them is almost an impossible task. And once you collide with them, no matter how high your cultivation or how tough your defenses, it would all be in vain. Death would be inevitable. Here, in fact, the whole abyss is a formation field. It's just that the bridge realm by races. After thousands of years of constant damage, the large formation's periphery is already fragmented. Fragmented array patterns, carrying incomprehensible killing intents and even resentment, formed a 9 deaths 1 life array Tao, devouring anyone who dares to intrude. Year by year, resentment spirits accumulated for millions of years, making the array patterns even more unpredictable. The ways high-skilled formation masters enter an ancient broken formation are uniform, using extraordinary sensing power, exploring the approaching array patterns with various array Tao profundities, determining the route, observing any slight changes, and cautiously advancing. So travel here cannot be fast. Thus, over the span of 10,000 years, they could only carve out a few dozen miles of safe path in the array zone. In recent years, breakthroughs on the array path occurred. The Yi clan discovered a peculiar spring called Enlightenment Spring, meaning to clarify the mind and see the nature. Array masters who drank from this spring had their sensing power for the array Tao increased tenfold, significantly speeding up their progress. Lin Zaiasu was tricked by that Yi Gui, taking a step into the perilous broken formation. Theoretically, his chances of survival were less than 10%, but such conventions were long overturned in his eyes. Because his heavenly Tao wisdom eye could perceive array patterns. Dangerous array patterns completely unseen and unperceivable by others, right next to them, were as clear as a painting to him. His form flickered left and right, stopping and going, and in a moment he was 30 miles away. Beneath his feet were countless white bones, which crumbled into dust with a light touch, clearly not bones from the past 10,000 years, but from even more ancient history. Before him, a strange sight suddenly appeared. A section of a tree branch, pointing diagonally to the sky. This tree branch was extraordinarily large, like an isolated island in the vast sea. Every leaf was a platform. Every tender branch was a slope. On the platform sat 17 people, some deep in thought, some probing with a bronze array pen, some consulting ancient classics, some manipulating an array plate or drinking Enlightenment Spring to enhance sensing power. Array patterns surrounded them, densely packed and chaotic. Below the platform were another 40 or 50 people, also exploring, advancing, and taking risks. The 17 people above were the 17 top-level 4 realms array masters of the abyss. The 40 or 50 below were the next tier, the 3rd realm array masters. Another group of array masters occupied positions between the platform outside and the tree branch, each with their own roles, some exploring, others guarding the passage. Lin Zaiasu came from the north, instantly alerting the people on the tree. Yin Chuan on the tree lifted his gaze. His array plate in his hand suddenly trembled. His eyes widened, staring at Lin Zaiasu approaching as if seeing a ghost. Beside Yin Chuan, Huang Yi's bronze pen trembled with a soft hiss. The pen tip was cut off by an invisible array pattern. It seemed he didn't mind. His beast-like fierce eyes locked firmly on Lin Zaiasu. Open a new path in just 2 hours. Pass through a 40-mile dangerous array zone. Yin Chuan's voice seemed to come from the deepest part of hell. The sound shocked everyone in the top-level circle. All eyes turned north. A 10-level tornado swept through everyone's heart. Lin Zaiasu entered the array zone exactly 2 hours ago. The route he took, oh no, the route given by Yi Gui was a new path. The road into the array zone, how perilous was it? The path they tread, achieved through the relay of countless generations over 10,000 years. At least 3,000 array masters died on that 40-mile-long road. That is to say, the corpses of 3,000, the task done over 10,000 years by the combined efforts of the bi-races, today was easily traversed by a just 20-year-old boy in 2 hours. Is this possible? Even a hint of possibility. Every array master simultaneously had a feeling, doubting life. Yin Chuan's voice rang out. There might be only one possibility. He carries an array Tao treasure. A Dong clan array master beside Yin Chuan trembled slightly. In his heart he sighed, people from the Yin clan are indeed sly. With just a single sentence this kid becomes a sworn enemy of many. His life is definitely forfeit. It's simply because he touched upon the most sensitive nerve of all array masters. Who would willingly give up an array Tao treasure? This kid bringing an array Tao treasure before these 17 people is akin to walking into a bandit's lair with one's beloved wife. Those truly shrewd would, even if aware of the treasure, refrain from stating it openly, even when intent on stealing it. Only the Yin clan would point it out, because he hopes to see everyone fight fervently over this fat piece of meat, resulting in chaos and corpses everywhere. This is the sinister nature of the Yin clan. Acts benefiting themselves, they act sinisterly. Acts not benefiting them as long as it harms others, they still act sinisterly. This trait is ingrained within their bones. Lin Zaiasu walked steadily in front of all, their eyes like hungry wolves. Upon stepping onto this branch, he felt as if he had landed on a large island. Amid the envious or puzzled gazes of 3rd-level array masters, he stepped upward, moving into the upper top-tier circle. As his figure vanished, those 3rd-level array masters below stared at each other, collectively questioning their existence. The top-tier circle, Could it truly be this easy to reach? Why have they never been able to ascend? Why are few corpses thrown into the abyss below every month? Lin Zaiyasu climbed higher, leaving the advanced circle for the top tier. Before him, a small semicircular platform shone emerald green, shaped like a lotus leaf. In the center of this platform, the Huang clan array master Huang Yi raised his gaze and coldly focused on him. "Kid, what array Tao treasure do you carry?" The entire place fell silent, everyone's gaze fixed on Lin Zaiasu's face, including Li Qing, who stood atop a lotus leaf platform at the highest point. From up close, Li Qing appeared more like a fairy. "What say you?" Lin Zaiyasu stepped closer, causing everyone's hearts to leap as they knew very well there was an array pattern right in front of this kid. Huang Yi, this Huang clan array master, had once lost a hand beneath this extremely concealed array pattern. Just one step closer and he would die. No one warned him. Not a single person. "Hand it over," Huang Yi ordered grimly. Lin Zaiyasu smiled. "I have a piece of advice for you." Huang Yi lifted his gaze, staring coldly at him. "Let's hear it." "The Huang clan is already destroyed. You are now a homeless and abandoned dog. So tone down your arrogance, bow your head and behave, and you might live a few extra years." Fire kindled in Huang Yi's eyes. For a person from the Huang clan, the greatest pain of heart was the destruction of their clan. Anyone daring to uncover this wound in front of him would invoke his wrath. Let alone Lin Zaiyasu, who had connections with the clan's mortal enemies. Courting death, Huang Yi rose violently, claws extending over 3 feet, reaching down towards Lin Zaiyasu from the platform. After having sat on this platform for several years, he naturally knew where the array patterns were, so this strike just avoided the pattern. Still, he could never have foreseen this. Just as his body extended with a whoosh, his head vanished. A blood trail lingered in the air like a cloud in the sky, slowly drifting away. Floating array pattern, Li Qing's face changed. As an array grandmaster, they feared not fixed position array patterns, it's the floating ones they feared. 99% of array patterns are fixed. Should you be cautious and sense carefully, avoiding these patterns is possible. Given enough time on this branch, they know where the patterns are. But floating patterns are unpredictable. The most perilous, and yet Huang Yi was so unlucky as to collide with it. His head was directly sliced off, dying violently. Lin Zaiyasu remarked, "I already advised him to bow his head. That stubborn fellow just wouldn't heed, insisted on raising his head. Isn't that courting death?" With a step, he knocked Huang Yi's body from the platform, sending it plummeting into the abyss below. Yin Xuan's eyes glistened. "You advised him to bow his head, implying not to stand." "Yes, otherwise what?" Lin Zaiyasu replied. The crowd was entirely baffled. To advise someone to bow implied literally what it said. Lower your head, don't rise. Yet that's not right. Yin Xuan said, "You knew there was a floating array pattern above his head." "Indeed." Everyone was stunned. "How did you know?" This voice came from the highest point, from Li Qing. "Senior Li just helped me earlier. I am immensely grateful." Lin Zaiyasu bowed deeply. "Since the senior asked, I dare not hide. I possess an innate array eye, capable of seeing array patterns." Chapter 434. Chapter 434. Sword slays the hindering leaf. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire platform was completely shaken. Innate array eye. Only those skilled in array formation know how terrifying an array path skill this is. To ordinary people, array patterns are invisible and intangible. Only with an innate array eye can one see the array patterns. Seeing the array patterns, what a convenience it is. Everyone else plays cards relying on analysis and guessing, but those with an innate array eye play with open cards. Discovering mysteries, capturing them, and breaking them, their advantage is overwhelmingly great. This also explains why he could, by himself, open up a new path in just 2 hours. For someone with an array eye, no matter how lethal the array's killing potential or how unpredictable the changes, he can see through it all at a glance. Innate array eye hasn't appeared for millennia. Master of the Long Ear clan, Wushan, on a small platform to the right, said coldly, "You claim you have an innate array eye. You don't believe it." "Who would believe it?" Lin Zaiyasu laughed. "If I tell you, 3 feet to your left are 3 intersecting array patterns, and 7 feet to your right is a crescent-shaped array pattern, would you believe it?" Wushan's expression immediately changed. Everyone knew about the 3 intersecting array patterns 3 feet to the left. but the crescent-shaped array pattern 7 feet to the right, he had only just discovered and hadn't even shared with the rest. Lin Zaiasu raised his gaze. Senior Li, be careful, that floating array pattern just came back, 4 feet to your left hand. Li Qing's heart skipped a beat. A strand of silver hair floated up, pointing to that position. A light sound was heard. The silver hair broke inch by inch, disappearing without a trace. In that void, a faint silver mark appeared, showing that the strand of silver hair had just been devoured by a floating array pattern. Li Qing's eyes shone brightly. Whether the rest of you believe it or not, I for one do believe. Everyone was dumbfounded and no longer questioned. Li Qing said, "Young master, may I ask your surname?" "Surname Su." "Young master Su, join this team. On behalf of everyone, I sincerely welcome you." Lin Zaiasu smiled and bowed. "Thank you again, Senior Li." "Young master Su, with your special insight, could you find the path forward?" "Finding the path forward isn't hard, but—" Lin Zaiasu hesitated slightly. At this moment, everyone's heartbeat accelerated. Could he really find the path forward? They had been stuck in this small space for many years. No way above, no way to the sides. It seemed like a dead end, and the most needed thing now was to find a way to move forward. Li Qing frowned slightly. "Why not finish your words, young master?" Lin Zaiasu said, "Senior Li has been a great help to me. As long as it's a request from Senior Li, I won't decline and will tell frankly. I have come here with a request, and as long as everyone agrees to it, I guarantee that within 3 days you will reach the true destination." Everyone exchanged glances. "What is your request?" A voice rang out very loud. It was the array master of the giant clan. "1 petal of the Lost Road Lotus," Lin Zaiasu stated. "Lost Road Lotus?" Li Qing was surprised. "Yes. The Lost Road Lotus only has 3 petals, and you wish to take 1 petal for yourself," Wushan said coldly. Lin Zaiasu replied, "Since ancient times on the path of exploration, those who contribute the most gain the most. If I don't contribute, you'll only go farther in the wrong direction, ultimately heading south while wanting to go north. But with just 1 move, I can find the correct direction, thereby obtaining the Lost Road Lotus and breaking through the Kun Emperor's array. Such achievements are not worthy of merely 1 petal of the Lost Road Lotus." The crowd erupted. Discussion was rampant. The Lost Road Lotus, a treasure from ancient times. Everyone was so keen on breaking the Kun Emperor's array, as if it were a shared mission of the Bridge Realm by races, and the Lost Road Lotus, sealed within the center of the array, was the most coveted treasure. An outsider, stepping into a realm others had worked tirelessly in for decades or centuries, wanted 1/3 of this treasure. "Dream on fraternity," Wushan shouted harshly. "Boy, you're too greedy. You alone want 1/3 of what the Bai races collectively gained. How can you?" Li Qing quickly raised his hand. Everyone quiet. The entire scene went silent. Li Qing said, "You say our direction is wrong." "Yes, completely wrong. The true path is hidden by an array concealed in the void. Moving in your current direction, you won't even touch the edges of the array base in 1,000 years. The correct path is hidden in the void. All around is void." Li Qing's gaze slowly lowered. "Fellow Taoists, I believe what young Master Su says is reasonable. Since ancient times, reopening a blocked path means half the achievement. A petal of the Lost Road Lotus, his request is not excessive. If you still find it unacceptable, I will join with young Master Su, and we will take only this 1 petal of the Lost Road Lotus, nothing more. What do you say?" Everyone exchanged glances. 1 person nodded. "Agreed." A second person nodded. Subsequently, it went smoothly, with all 16 nodding. Lin Zaiasu bowed again. "Thank you for your generosity, Senior Li. I am grateful." Li Qing smiled. "I am also from the Li clan and was once your peer 300 years ago. No need to be overly modest." "Good. Since everyone has reached a consensus, let the younger generation add some dramatic flair to the abyssal." A long sword appeared in his hand as he raised it. 1 sword strike. What he cut was a small platform on the side. No, it was actually a lotus leaf. That leaf fluttered and fell. With the falling of this lotus leaf, a branch suddenly appeared again in the void outside the leaf, as if clouds were scattering, revealing another mountain range. Everyone's eyes widened. They had also imagined a hidden road, but couldn't find any direction. Who would have thought that the hidden road wasn't absolutely hidden? There was a leaf obscuring the vision, and once cut by a sword, the hidden road naturally emerged. If it wasn't for Lin Zaiasu, as he said, It truly would depend entirely on fate to find this road. Lin Zaiasu pointed his long sword sideways. Dear seniors, the road ahead is particularly dangerous. How about I lead the way? Li Qing nodded. Sir, breaking and extending the road while risking his own life truly impresses this old woman. Please go ahead. He walked in the front of everyone. Behind him were 16 array masters, each showing excited expression. This area is so special. Invisible array patterns are everywhere. A slight inattentiveness could lead to indiscriminate slaughter even for third and fourth realm warriors. Without someone leading the way, everyone would still have to rely on their own array path perception to inch forward. But having him with the legendary array eyes to pave the way saves a significant amount of trouble. Following his footsteps avoids all the variabilities and crises. If he sees wrongly, he's the first to die. Lin Zaiasu took his responsibility seriously, not only leading the way, but also using his long sword to point this way and that. Here, there's an array pattern, you might want to mark it. Here there are 2 array patterns, bend down when passing. Here the array patterns interlace, the only path through is at this spot, watch my stance. In a patch of void, Lin Zaiasu sometimes leaned left, sometimes right, sometimes ducking low, sometimes leaping over. With his long sword he pointed out all array patterns, all traps along the way. Those behind him were all array path geniuses, and once they knew the location of the array patterns, they marked them. A remarkably dangerous path turned into a broad highway under his feet. Everyone's hearts were pounding with excitement. At the speed and smoothness, they would soon reach their true destination. And those people under the big tree earlier also followed. They couldn't ascend to the top layer because there was no room for them. Now, those at the top had advanced significantly with Lin Zaiasu, and those below caught up. The markings made by the array masters ahead could still be sensed in the short term, allowing them a great advantage, having walked 10 miles on this treacherous road. These 10 miles would have normally taken years of hard work. But today it only takes 2 hours. The whole team gradually widened their distance. Those around Lin Zaiasu became fewer and fewer because each person's proficiency in the array path varied. Some could quickly sense the marks left by those ahead, while others were much slower. After 10 miles, only 3 people remained by Lin Zaiasu's side, Li Qing, Wushan, and an array master from the Yi clan named Yi Shui. Behind them lay a world shrouded in mist. This is the wonder of the array field. Even if the actual distance is only a few meters apart, it creates a scene of seeming distant horizons, where they cannot see or hear each other. Suddenly, Lin Zaiasu took a step forward and swung his sword. With a soft rip, a leaf fell with the sword, revealing an extraordinary scene ahead. A lotus pool. Clouds and mist were floating. A white bone like a jade mountain. On the white bone, patterns covered it. The great Tao was endless. Under the white bone, a verdant lotus blossom was pressed down. This lotus had 3 stems. However, only the leaves could be seen, not the blossom. The lotus seemed to have been swallowed by this bone. Emperor Kun bone, Wushan's long ear trembled. Lost road lotus. Yi Shui's voice sounded as if coming from underground, indescribably eerie, his whole being glowing green at that moment. Lin Zaiasu smiled lightly, happy to complete the task successfully. Wushan laughed heartily. Master Li, Master Yi, overturned the Emperor Kun bone, and the 1,000-year mission of the Bridge Realm by races is complete. How about each of us takes a petal of the lost road lotus? Isn't that reasonable? Yi Shui laughed. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Li Qing laughed charmingly. What the 2 masters said is not unreasonable, however. I need to bear the reputation of betrayal and deceit, so I ought to take the main branch. Her finger pointed at the largest and central stem. Yi Shui and Wushan nodded in unison. Agreed. Lin Zaiasu's smile froze. Master Li, have you decided to betray us? Hatha. All 3 of them laughed. Li Qing brushed her silver hair from her forehead. Young man, let me give you 2 pieces of advice. First, the prettier a woman is, the more deceptive she can be. Second, after parting ways with the Li clan 300 years ago, I've regarded them as enemies, never having any so-called affection for the Li clan. Lin Zaiasu furrowed his brows tightly. Then why did you assist me? Li Qing chuckled. Assist you? Are you sure I assisted you? I merely found it inconvenient to kill you outside. Drawing you into the inner circle to kill you unnoticed is truly wonderful, isn't it? Chapter 435. Chapter 435. burying alive all array masters. Lin Zaiasu slowly said, born of the Li clan, even without the ties of incense, such an unforgivable hatred should not exist. Li Qing, why are you doing this? Li Qing replied, boy, you're still too young. So-called hatred is merely an obsession for those of a lower level. At our level, what we do has long surpassed the shackles of hatred. Opposing the Li clan, the remaining disciples of the Huang clan will attach themselves to the Ancestor Hall. The Long Ear clan and the Yi clan will also support the Ancestor Hall. That's all. Lin Zaiasu slowly raised his head. His face was initially full of dejection. Slowly the dejection on his face faded, and eventually his face was full of smiles. Li Qing, what you've thought of, do you think I haven't thought of it? The three people, including Li Qing, exchanged glances, all slightly startled. Lin Zaiasu said, have you considered another possibility? That I had already seen through your tricks and went along with it into the inner layer space, just to hunt you down. Ha ha ha, Yishui and Wushan burst into loud laughter. But Li Qing did not laugh, because at this moment, Lin Zaiasu's face was faintly smiling. His smile was as gentle as a spring breeze, yet from any angle, it showed no panic or pretense. Li Qing's pupils slowly contracted. Are you telling the truth? Since entering this area, I have never spoken a truth, but today can be an exception. Do you know why? Lin Zaiasu calmly said, because when facing those who are about to die, I have no reason to lie. Yishui and Wushan's smiles suddenly stiffened. Li Qing, on the contrary, smiled. Then how will you kill, relying on your impure bloodline power? Of course not, Lin Zaiasu said. Entering the ancient array Tao Forbidden Zone, even a 3-year-old child knows the most effective means of killing should be an array. The smile on Li Qing's face stiffened again. Array, this word struck at their most sensitive inner heart. Within the array zone, anything is possible. To foresee variables means to act and sever them. This is an awareness that everyone should have. Kill, Wushan abruptly raised his hand. As soon as his hand was raised, it directly expanded into a 4-foot-wide sharp claw. He was an elder of the Long Ear clan. Although he cultivated in array Tao, his combat power was also top-notch. Half-step fourth realm cultivation. Compared to the great elder of the Long Ear clan on Upper Li Divine Mountain that day, his combat power was only slightly inferior. This is the peculiarity of these Earth-core strange races. Their combat power does not rely on cultivation, but on the purification of their bloodline. Thus, delving into array Tao does not waste their combat power. In fact, in a certain sense, using the mysterious methods of array Tao can more rapidly enhance their combat power. This is completely different from the cultivation path. Seeing this claw, it sealed off all of Lin Zaiasu's space. Suddenly, Lin Zaiasu laughed. The moment he smiled, there was a little puff sound. The sharp claw was directly severed by an invisible force. Wushan retreated 3 feet, his face suddenly changed. Yishui exclaimed, floating array patterns. Li Qing's eyes were full of disbelief. How is this possible? The position where this array pattern appeared was the place he had just walked past. When he walked past, there were clearly no array patterns, yet when the attack began, an array pattern appeared. Did he have such good luck? Just happened to collide with an array pattern to save his life. Let me tell you some good news, this is not a floating array pattern. Lin Zaiasu said, this is merely a fixed array pattern. Fixed? How is it possible? Lin Zaiasu said, let me tell you some bad news. All of you are within my array, and this array is called the Small Circulation Patrol Array. Patrol Array. Li Qing's face suddenly changed. This is impossible. As a 4 realms array master, she certainly knew what a patrol array meant. Patrol array, as its name suggests, means patrol. Its fundamental purpose is to transform the array platform beneath into a movable flying disc, patrolling within a certain range, allowing a person to stand still and patrol a large area. Placed within a city, this is a mysterious, high-end, classy array for the manager to inspect all directions. But the basic gist is merely to garnish and enhance the classiness of an array. Its essence is not a slaughter array. However, the way of the array, its wonders are endless. In this array Tao Forbidden Zone filled with array patterns, a patrol array is the most terrifying array. Because once this array platform moves, the originally marked fixed array patterns also follow and move, making their positions unfixed. Like what? Trees by the roadside were originally stationary. Unknowing and unwitting wouldn't actively harm people, making the danger level not too high. However, if the car beneath your feet starts moving, actively hitting the trees turns them into dangerous objects. Fixed array patterns, originally with controllable danger, in an instant become completely uncontrollable floating array patterns. Her back suddenly became wet. Swoosh! Yishui's arm suddenly disappeared. Yishui let out a miserable scream. This is impossible. When did you ever use array towel? You never. You never even took out an array pen. Yes, even now, Li Qing and Wushan, who were highly tense and constantly sensing the floating array patterns that might appear from anywhere, were equally perplexed by this. Throughout the entire process, Lin Zaiasu had never taken out an array pen. As people in the array Tao realm, as soon as they regard someone as an enemy, they become extremely sensitive to every stroke of that enemy's array pen. They always focused on whether Lin Zaiasu would take the opportunity to do something tricky. Lin Zaiasu had not used the array pen throughout the process. Therefore, naturally, he couldn't have done anything tricky with the array. So they felt very relieved, and when the time to expose their cards came, they confidently laid down their cards. Unexpectedly, he still played a trick on them. They completely couldn't understand how this trick was done. Lin Zaiasu lightly raised his hand, and the 5 elements sword shone in his palm. This sword is called the 5 elements sword. As long as one possesses the 5 elements power within their body, the 5 elements sword is the array pen. Innate array body. You, Li Qing, Wushan, and Yishui were all shocked and appalled. Under the heavens, there is only one type of person who can lay arrays at will without using an array pen, and that is someone with an innate array body. The basic function of the array pen is to integrate the 5 elements power. As for the innate array body, it carries the 5 elements attribute within itself, and one of its fingers is the array pen. The innate array body is a special constitution that any sect with array in its name dreams of obtaining. Is this person actually an innate array body? He pointed continuously with his long sword, secretly setting up an array right under their noses. However, no one connected this long sword with the array pen. What a sinister person, what a vicious person. Swish! Another array pattern flashed past, adding another wound to Yishui's waist. Li Qing suddenly looked up. A cold, murderous aura grazed her forehead, severing a wisp of silver hair. Although she used her super sensing power to dodge this attack, her heart had grown cold. The patrol array had already been activated, and everyone within the array constantly faced the intangible, deadly threat of the array path. There's only one way: kill him. Once he is dead, this deadly patrol array might stop. However, just as she made up her mind, Lin Zaiasu disappeared. They were all struck dumb at the same time. Stop the patrol array, Yishui shouted. Swish. His head flew off. The speed of the patrol array increased, and the originally fixed array patterns now became countless invisible flying blades in the sky, decapitating him in an instant. Wushan's face changed drastically. Young Master Su, stop the patrol array, and I promise to fulfill the previous promise and allow you to take the Lost Lotus. Li Qing quickly dodged to the side again, narrowly avoiding another icy killing intent. Sweat appeared on her forehead. Indeed, young Master Su, all 3 petals of the Lost Lotus, I'll give them to you. Just stop it first. Ha ha ha, Lin Zaiasu's voice resounded from an unknown place. Do you really think I care about the Lost Lotus? That was just to entice you, to make you believe the Lost Lotus was within reach, and thus rush headlong to your doom. What on earth do you want? Li Qing called out. What I want is for all of you array masters to perish within the array path. Dreaming of slaughtering every array master, Li Qing shouted fiercely, raising her array plate. Wushan shouted, all array masters hear me. We have fallen into the Su family's little thief's trap. Break the array together immediately. With this shout, he assisted his array plate in sending out the message, and for a moment, every array master on this path heard his voice. This group of array masters had already noticed something unusual. Why did the array patterns they marked change? Why did people keep getting killed by the array patterns one after another? Suddenly hearing Wushan's words, they flew into a rage, all revealing their trump cards to break the array. However, a long laugh pierced their ears. This is only the first level of the patrol array. Everyone enjoys playing. Come on, let's make it more exciting. Speed up. As soon as the last 2 words fell, the speed of the patrol array tripled. With such an increase, the array masters didn't even have time to sense the array patterns. In an instant, their lives were left to fate. Array masters screamed one after another. Over 80 array masters on this path were cut down by the array patterns in the blink of an eye. This upheaval the outside knew nothing of. Such is the wonder of arrays. It isolates everything. When the outside array masters followed the marks left by those before them and stepped into this zone, they were immediately swept into a killing field, while those behind remained unaware, continually charging forward, driven by their sacred mission on behalf of the bridge realm by races, driven by the immense temptation of the lost lotus, the exotic treasure of the world, also driven by the array master's dignity. No one thought that the more sophisticated their understanding of the array path, the quicker they'd step into the meat grinder. They would never have thought that their revered Four Realms array masters in this situation were completely powerless. Young Master Su, please spare us. We come from the same branch of the array path. Why do this? Isn't the Bridge Realm's millennia mission sacred and solemn? By doing this, you betray the entire Bridge Realm. Aren't you afraid that such a reversal will bring total catastrophe to your entire Li clan and Li Tian clan? In an instant there were pleas, reasonings, threats, cries for help. It became chaotic. Eventually, they were all swept into the screams. This final stretch of the road, the inner array's secret path opened by Lin Ziasu himself, turned into a river of blood with corpses lying everywhere. "Su thief," Li Qing shouted, "why are you so resolute? What you should be asking is, who am I really?" Lin Ziasu's voice floated over. "Who are you?" Li Qing's eyes flashed with silver, and with an array plate in hand, she pushed her physical potential to the maximum, narrowly dodging 3 attacks. "I'm not from the Li Tian clan. I'm a bona fide member of the human clan." Human clan. The 2 words echoed throughout the grand array. Everyone within the array was stunned. They truly understood the peril they faced. If he were from the Bridge Realm, it was unlikely he'd be so resolute. At least he wouldn't have a reason to massacre everyone. Finding out his motive, appealing to reason, touching with emotion, threatening his tribe, there might still be a chance for a turnaround. But he was from the human clan. He infiltrated the abyssal. All his actions had a clear reason. He wanted to massacre all the array masters. Simply because of one point. The human clan and the Bridge Realm by races had different understandings of the sacred mission. The Bridge Realm by races viewed opening the seal as a sacred mission. With the seal opened, the Earthcore strange race left in the mixed zone would feel the light of their ancestors' bloodline, awaken to their ancestors' skills, and embrace a major turn in destiny. However, the human clan had no such need. On the contrary, breaking the Earthcore would bring catastrophic impact to the human clan. Their mission was to maintain the existence of the seal. Mission isn't about right or wrong. Mission is only about perspective. From the human clan's perspective, slaughtering all the array masters could at least delay the seal's opening, preserving the human clan world from the impact of the Earthcore strange race. You will never succeed. Never." Li Qing forcefully tore apart some barrier, reducing half of her hand to ashes. Remarkably, she managed to pierce through a layer of barrier, once again seeing Lin Ziasu. Seeing Lin Ziasu meant she was out of the patrol array. Seeing Lin Ziasu, Li Qing grew emboldened. Her silver hair fluttered, and she, resembling a celestial immortal elder, launched herself down fiercely. Chapter 436. Chapter 436, Lost Road Lotus. The formation is most variable. Li Qing fell into Lin Ziasu's trap, losing the upper hand, resulting in a terrible plight. However, as long as she breaks through the formation in terms of skill, what can Lin Ziasu, this tiny ant, amount to? With a flick of her wrist, she could slaughter him, and this patrol formation under his control would be rendered useless. With the unparalleled achievement of rescuing the array masters of the Bridge Realm, she, Li Qing, could claim the Lost Path Lotus all by herself. Who would object? Yet, just as she was filled with exhilaration, a sword flew at her. Bang! Li Qing's only remaining arm was directly shattered into minced meat, and she flew away in retreat. Her expression changed drastically. You will pay for today's actions with a dire price." Li Qing's chest heaved dramatically. "Your Li clan behind you will also pay the most painful price. They will not be able to stand in the Bridge Realm." Because the Li clan colluded with the human clan, causing the death of 100 array masters and disrupting the sacred mission of the bridge realm. So they cannot stand in the bridge realm and must be exterminated, correct? Of course. Lin Zaiasu laughed. Then that's the next line of thought. I'm not planning to let the Li clan bear this burden. I've chosen to let your ancestral hall take the blame. Therefore, you can rest assured on your journey, those in your ancestral hall who are in cahoots with you will follow closely behind. Swoosh. The first style of Li Ren's sword Dao, separation. Li Qing's head flew off, ending her legendary tale. Lin Zaiasu's longsword vibrated, and on the 30-mile formation path behind him, smoke and dust arose. The killing intent became shrouded in mystery. The patrol formation changed again. This change truly severed all hope of escape for the array masters. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. The 83 array masters who entered the formation path all perished with none escaping. The array masters on the periphery suddenly felt dense fog in front of them, unable to see their hands, with endless killing intent of the formation path rushing towards them. The array masters stopped, unable to move forward an inch. News spread outside and Yi Gui's face changed. Found a new path, with as many as 83 entering this new path. The start seemed incomparably good, but then sudden changes occurred in the inner top-tier formation circle. No one knew whether it was fortune or misfortune. An elder of the Qi clan, whose entire body was covered with turtle shells, with luminescent turtle shell lights flashing all over his body, hurried and panicked, his eyes also shining dimly. There are omens of both good and evil intertwined. This matter is by no means trivial. This was his divination. A verbose divination. At the edge of the giant platform, Li Feiyang, Li Zui and Jiaor clasped their 3 hands together, their heartbeats all accelerating. The news inside filled them with immense excitement. Lin Zaiasu, astonishingly, traversed that new path, formally integrating into the top circle, and under his guidance, opened a new road that even Li Qing had not discovered. He found it. What is this called? Peerless heavenly pride. Surely, regardless of the situation, a heavenly pride remains a heavenly pride. Could it be that he really can open this seal, fulfilling the mission shared by the Bai clan of the Bridge Realm? Lin Zaiasu, the instigator of this whole incident, finally arrived at the front of the Lotus Pond. The Lotus Pond had wind, the origin unknown. Originally the most elegant Lotus Pond in the world, but in Lin Zaiasu's eyes, it seemed so eerie. He pressed forward, step by step, becoming increasingly difficult to proceed. The array patterns in the air were gone, indicating the formation of this area was complete. A complete array, absent of the danger of array patterns, yet exuding unparalleled pressure. Within 100 meters of White Bone Mountain, he could not approach. This was the bone's own majesty, a bone like a galaxy. Lin Zaiasu sat cross-legged, closing his eyes, using his primordial spirit as his eyes. In the eyes of the primordial spirit, this piece of heaven and earth was a wall. Boundless, vast, and heavy under the wall, a lotus pressed upon it. This lotus was the Lost Path Lotus. The Lost Path Lotus, capturing the true essence of being lost, severing the connection between 2 realms. As Lin Zaiasu's heavenly Tao primordial spirit came into contact with this lotus, he suddenly fell into endless turbulence, his heart surging with waves. Is this the Lost Path Lotus? Devours the primordial spirit. Any primordial spirit approaching is drawn into a maze. If he were an ordinary cultivator, even a top-level expert in the primordial spirit enlightenment realm of legendary level, at this moment he would be courting death. However, Lin Zaiasu still had a trump card up his sleeve. That is his other primordial spirit. The 2 primordial spirits connect with each other. Even if one is trapped within the maze of the lost path, the other can remain connected, just like a thread pulling from outside the maze. With this primordial spirit, the one inside has a clear coordinate. This is a unique exception among all cultivators beneath the heavens. Lin Zaiasu's double primordial spirits linking together, he confidently and boldly placed one primordial spirit deep within, and deeper still, the internal structure of the Lost Path Lotus, slowly forming a concrete image in his brain through that spirit. He grew more and more astonished. How does the Lost Path Lotus resemble the human brain so closely? Every passageway a nerve. Every deep pool a brain cell. Through the view of a primordial spirit, the inside of the Lost Path Lotus is a magnified version of the human brain. Lin Zaiasu felt a stir in his heart, the primordial spirit within his brain following the one inside the Lost Path Lotus, beginning to navigate synchronously. Inside the Lost Path Lotus, crisscrossing paths. And in the brain, crisscrossing neural pathways. A big labyrinth, a small labyrinth. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 day, 2 days. The primordial spirit within the Lost Lotus wandered off course, but with the reminder of the brain's primordial spirit, it knew where the next path was and drifted on until it reached the deepest part of the brain. Suddenly, in a certain area of the Lost Lotus, an ancient bronze gate appeared. In Lin Zaiasu's brain, the corresponding area lacked the bronze gate, which seemed to be the only difference between the two. Bronze gate. Lin Zaiasu felt waves surging in his heart. The human body has a secret realm. No one knows its trace. Opening it is purely accidental. Could it be this is also a body's secret realm? Opening this secret realm is the only way to unlock the heavenly human lock of the spiritual power secret technique. The primordial spirit in his brain concentrated spiritual power, adopting the posture of opening a door, and pushed towards the bronze gate. First try fruitless. Second try fruitless. Third try. He concentrated all his spiritual power recklessly. With a fierce rush, the area within his body trembled violently. His brain felt as if it had been struck heavily, the headache was splitting, and for a brief moment he lost the sense of the primordial spirit within the Lost Lotus. Finally, he took a deep breath, feeling gradually recovered. A secret realm appeared within his brain. His spiritual power poured in like fish finding a nest. Inside the secret realm, interconnected, seemingly linking all organs throughout the body, his sea of consciousness entirely connected with the secret realm, allowing the primordial spirit to settle in, with thoughts flowing unhindered. The shackles. Unlocked. The real function of the Lost Lotus wasn't in the lotus itself but in an enlightenment. It could guide people to open the most mysterious secret realm within their brain, the Lost Road secret realm. Lin Zaiasu reconnected with the primordial spirit within the Lost Lotus. Brought back and returned to the sea of consciousness. His gaze lifted, looking at the white bone ahead. This white bone originated from a legendary person, Emperor Kun. He seemed to have seen a tragic hero facing divine and earthly tribulations, extracting his own rib to transform into a sky-shattering array, severing the connection between heaven and earth to support a realm for the precarious and fragile human clan. Countless 100,000 years slipped through his fingers. Only 13 eerie white bones remained, still echoing the heroic and melancholic spirit of that era. Facing this white bone, Lin Zaiasu bowed deeply, stood up, and turned to leave. The array behind had already stopped. The corridor was strewn with corpses. Lin Zaiasu stepped over the bodies of Li Qing and Yi Shui and came to the corpse of Wushan. He reached out his hand and removed the blood-stained clothes of Wushan. His face slowly changed, taking on the appearance of Wushan, and his ears, under the stimulus of true qi, slowly sharpened. A gust of wind blew by, making him completely identical to Wushan from head to toe. He reached out his hand, revealing a pair of glasses in his palm. The dragon eye recorded the scene in front of him and received an instruction from him. The instruction consisted of 2 words, synthesize. Then Wushan, covered in blood, lifted an ancient array plate from the blood pool, gathered the array crystal pillars scattered around, and stepped boldly towards the exit. Outside, on a massive platform, Yigui sat in the darkness. Behind him was also endless darkness. His long hair floated and sank like the hair of a female corpse in a deep ancient well. He stared intently at the treetop. Ever since that little one from the Li Tian clan entered the array zone 3 days ago, the changes within the array left everyone wondering if it was auspicious or ominous. What kind of news would come next? Would it be the impenetrable array checkpoint they encountered, or the breakthrough of the array checkpoint, directly confronting the final outcome? Either way, it benefited the Yi clan, because the Yi clan had the geographical advantage and also the initiative. If there were an unsolvable array checkpoint, the Yi clan could take this opportunity to reap the benefits from all other races, making them contribute more resources. If it were truly a direct breakthrough, claiming the exotic treasure within the 2-domain passage, such as the Lost Lotus, that too should be owned by the Yi clan. Do you think this 4-realm night ghost is here just to maintain order? The supposed protection for the array masters was merely a superficial act. His real task was ensuring that the significant gains would belong to the Yi clan. In the Bridge realm, near 200 clans, disputes were endless, each clan having its allegiance. When the hope was still just an elusive dream, everyone joined efforts. Those with money contributed money, those with strength contributed strength, those with people provided people, and those with materials offered materials. But when significant outcomes appeared, everyone's concerns would be for themselves. No starlight lit up on the branches, indicating that the array masters inside hadn't connected with the outside, using the array as a line. They hadn't initiated contact, nor could those outside possibly glimpse into the inner layers of the array Tao. What exactly was happening inside? He still knew nothing. Suddenly, a layer of golden light flowed over the leaves. With the golden light streaming, the eyes of Yi Gui sharpened like a fierce ghost, tightly locking on. Two people below the platform's edge suddenly turned around, staring at the leaves on the tree. These two were the siblings of the Li family, Li Feiyang and Li Zui. On the tree, only a golden light passed with nothing amiss. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the tree hole. This person, covered in blood, holding an array plate in his hand, had a pale face, none other than the array master of the Long Ear clan, Wushan. Seventh Elder, Dingsheng below the platform's frown suddenly creased. What happened? Yi Gui's fierce gaze locked onto him, and a great unease rose in his heart. Master what happened? Wushan shouted sternly, dead, they're all dead. Chapter 437. Chapter 437, Ancestor Hall takes the blame. What? Yi Gui was shocked all over. The Li Tian Ancestral Hall, that bitch Li Qing. Wushan's voice was even more piercing. That bitch has colluded with the human clan, set up a poison array, and killed all the array masters. Nonsense. A voice interjected, accompanied by 4 human figures, simultaneously landing before him, the 4 representatives of the Li Tian Ancestral Hall. How could our master Li possibly do such a thing? Nonsense, see for yourselves. Wushan raised his hand, revealing an array plate in his palm. The array plate projected a horrific scene where inside a grand array, there lay a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, the brilliance of the array path everywhere, and Li Qing stood on a high platform, laughing heartily. I might as well reveal today that the ancestors of our Li Tian clan's ancestral hall are the human clan. You in the Bridge realm, vainly trying to break the seal and bring forth your so-called ancestors across the worlds, this would inflict unbearable harm on the human clan. On the orders of the Hall Master, according to the Elder Council's decision, we've endured in silence for 100 years just for today. Expending your clan's resources in the abyssal, wiping out your array masters in one fell swoop, is the only way to completely terminate the otherworld's breaking seal thought. The projection of the array path was so cruel. Li Qing's laughter was so ironic. The crowd was first petrified, then exploded. The Li Tian Ancestral Hall, their mix between the Li clan and human clan themselves. Exactly, recognizing the human clan as ancestors, and only these wretches. I've always said that this lowly race with human clan blood can't be trusted. Dare to sabotage the millennia plan of our Bridge realm by races. This kind of race must not be allowed to survive in the Bridge realm for even half a day. Kill them. Eliminate the threat. Who? 2 figures shot through the air. They were Li Feiyang and Li Zui. The siblings landed on either side of Wushan. Our brother, how is he? Li Feiyang's eyes were bloodshot, his expression extremely agitated. Wushan let out a bitter laugh. Everyone but myself has been killed, everyone, naturally including your brother. Ah, Li Feiyang let out a long howl, filled with sorrow and anger echoing through the abyss. Li Zui trembled all over, her body swaying unsteadily. With a huff, the person in the middle of the 4 representatives of the Li Tian Ancestral Hall suddenly reached out sharply to grab the array plate. I absolutely don't believe. Wushan swiftly withdrew his hand, trying to reclaim the array plate first. The hand of that Li Tian representative suddenly extended, with a thundering shock, striking Wushan's chest. This strike didn't seem particularly heavy, but Wushan was directly sent flying, plummeting into the abyss below, accompanied by a shrill scream. Courting death, Dingsheng leapt up and shot straight to the high platform. He stretched out his hand, swish. The throat of the person snatching the array plate was pierced through. Pierced by Dingsheng's claws. Li Feiyang suddenly turned back, his palm abruptly tripling in size, slamming towards the remaining 3 representatives of the Li Tian ancestral hall. His expression was so sorrowful and angry, his strike was with all his might. Boom! 1 representative was instantly killed. The remaining 2 were shaken off the high platform. Kill them, kill! In the crowd, countless people soared up. In moments, chaos erupted in the scene. Li Qing, this array master of the Li Tian ancestral hall, had massacred more than 100 array masters, all of whom were the hearts, flesh of various clans, who wouldn't feel heartbroken. At this moment, with Li Qing swaggering inside the array and no way to kill her directly, then annihilate the entire Li Tian ancestral hall lineage present. At this moment, there were no so-called distinctions of factions. The Li Tian ancestral hall had become the public enemy of the bridge realm. On the high platform, there were originally over 100 people from the Li Tian ancestral hall, but in a moment, they were slaughtered clean like chopping vegetables. Even the several clans that had good relations with the ancestral hall in the past couldn't intervene. Because the Li Tian ancestral hall had secret dealings with the human clan, openly standing on the opposing side of the bridge realm, who dared get involved in this mess? Especially since Li Qing, when killing array masters, didn't care about so-called ally sentiments either. For example, the Long Ear clan, ever since falling out with the Li clan, the Li Tian ancestral hall had offered them olive branches, but external goodwill didn't prevent Li Qing from slaughtering in the array. Then, did anyone need to consider friendship? In a moment, all those from the Li Tian ancestral hall were cleared. Li Feiyang cried out to the heavens. The Li Tian ancestral hall cannot coexist in the same realm with all clans of the bridge realm. They must be exterminated. Exterminate them, someone echoed. Exterminate them, the echoes gradually increased. Exterminate them, it quickly became the mainstream voice. With a whoosh, several figures leapt up from below the abyss, belonging to the Long Ear clan. They bowed to Dingxing. The 7th elder's body was not found. It must have fallen into the bottomless abyss. Dingxing spewed out a mouthful of anger. Destroy the Li Tian ancestral hall, kill them all. Yigui slowly rose. The Li Tian ancestral hall dares to oppose the bridge realm by races. They're courting their own destruction. I will now contact the leaders of the major clans to purge this traitor from the bridge realm. Nobody expected. It was all just a stratagem. The implementer of the stratagem used 2 inconceivable tricks. First move, disguise technique. For the first time, Lin Zaiasu disguised himself as an Earth Core strange race member, the 7th elder of the Long Ear clan, Wushan. His true Qi disguise technique had already become comparable to the Blue Demon's transformation technique, even elongating and sharpening his ears through true Qi. The second move, modern technology. Everyone thought they were seeing a projection from the array path. In reality, it wasn't. The array plate hadn't been activated. What was activated was a piece of high-tech eyewear, the Dragon Eye. Inside the Dragon Eye, the image synthesis requires no internet. It's handled by an internal microchip. Lin Zaiasu created a projection, said a few words, and instantly skewed the narrative. No one doubted his words were false, simply because the situation in the Li Tian ancestral hall was too unique. In the Li Tian ancestral hall, the Li Tian clan is the mainstream. How did the Li Tian clan come to be? It originated from the hybrid bloodline of the Li clan and the human clan. Claiming the Li clan as their ancestor is justified. Claiming the human clan as their ancestor is also justified. Considering the irreconcilable relationship between the Li Tian ancestral hall and the current bridge realm Li clan, they clearly don't regard the Li clan as their ancestor. So the answer seems quite clear. Their hall's ancestor refers to the human clan. That is the first point. The second is, the Li Tian clan is the only group capable of interdimensional travel. They are more likely to ally with the human clan than to be enemies. Based on this, a strategy to trap and kill all the array masters from various clans in the bridge realm and delay the breaking of the seal is entirely logical for them. What no one expected was that the instigator, Lin Zaiasu, after being knocked into the abyss, twisted and stealthily adhered to the rock wall. The moment he stuck to it, his clothes fell into the bottomless abyss. His appearance changed. The next moment, he emerged from the abyssal depths. The moment he emerged, his gaze was drawn to the high platform. The anger and desolation of Li Feiyang seemed palpable. This was genuine sorrow sparked by treating him like a friend. However, Li Zui surprised him. She stood at the edge of the high platform, her expression dazed. No impulse, no heart-wrenching grief. Well, the journey underground ends here. Before leaving, seeing that she wasn't too heartbroken could also be considered a decent outcome. Yet, why did he feel a faint sense of loss inside? This little lass swore just days ago, almost vowing eternal loyalty, and today upon hearing of his death she's not reckless. Damn, does our friendship not measure up to your brother's? Upon exiting the abyssal depths, he found himself outside an ancient city. Nzayasu disguised himself as an ordinary Li Tian clan member and boarded a boat filled with Li Tian clan people, mostly fleeing for their lives. The winds on the abyssal side had shifted, with countless clans pointing their spears at the Li Tian ancestral hall. These Li Tian clan members could not prove whether they were of the original system, Li Tian of the Li clan, or the magic system, Li Tian of the Li Tian ancestral hall. Fearing senseless disaster, retreat was the sensible choice. Riding a turtle boat for hundreds of miles, the temperature began to rise again. Lin Zaiasu changed boats at the front dock, this time heading for Flame City, the city he saw upon entering. The underground tumult stirred. He needed to let the storm settle. Before departure, he gathered news one last time. He entered Flame City, stepped into a tavern. The tavern was abuzz, entirely consumed by this event. Did everyone hear? Something big happened over at the abyss. All the array masters are dead. I heard it's that dog Li Qing from the Li Tian ancestral hall, recklessly arrogant, openly crossing the shared line of the bridge realm by races. It's not just that scoundrel alone. She openly declared that this extreme strategy was devised by the hall master and collectively discussed by the elder council. The ancestor of the Li Tian ancestral hall isn't the Li Tian clan. It refers to the human clan. Living in the bridge realm but tethered to the outside world, acknowledging a thief as ancestor, causing havoc in the bridge realm. Can the bridge realm by races allow that? Someone slammed the table. Of course not. The bridge realm by races have already united, vowing to destroy the ancestral hall. Indeed they should, it's long overdue. The tavern was filled with passionate debates. The unanimous opinion was that the Li Tian ancestral hall crossed the shared line and needed to be destroyed. The human clan and earth clan were never meant to coexist under the same sky. Their relationship was an irreconcilable conflict. The bridge realm's roots should lie on the other side of the seal, definitely not on the human clan's side. Any fool who muddles this clear-cut issue deserves to be eradicated. Some analyzed that the reason behind the collective desire to destroy the ancestral hall was not only its current actions, but also the fact that over the past 300 years, the ancestral hall had amassed an enormous trove of rare treasures that all clans covet. In the past, a single clan dared not entertain thoughts of annihilation and treasure plunder, but now with strength in numbers and a proper banner, the consolidation of clan strength allows for the possibility of extermination and plunder. Listening to these discussions, the corners of Lin Zaiasu's mouth curled into a smile. He pulled out a 100-tael silver note and tossed it to the waiter. Bring me some food and drink, and prepare a guest room for me. After enjoying one last earth core delicacy, Lin Zaiasu followed the waiter to a top-floor room. After a night's rest to regain his strength, it's likely another tough battle awaits tomorrow. He sneaked into this world, but leaving won't be so easy. As long as the Ancestor Temple stands, it will never allow him to leave with ease. This forebodes the tough battle expected tomorrow.